What's good, people? What's good? I hope you guys are well. What's going off? What's going on? Get this party started. What's good, everyone? I hope you guys are well. Um, Let me get this link in the chat stream. What's good, peeps? What's good? What's happening? Let's get those questions in. Let's get those questions in. What's happening, people? What's happening? I see everyone. I see people are joining the stream. So yeah, guys. I thought I'd address an issue. It looks like a lot of people are asking for Eddie's head after seeing a video clip, and they want Eddie Reynoso sacked. Man, this is a guy that's been with Canelo since day dot, man. What's going on, Jessica? I hope you're well. I hope everything's good at your end. Yeah, Eddie Reynoso is a guy that's been with Canelo since day dot. He's been with Canelo since, he was a little toddler, and they had one bad fight out of several fights, and everybody's questioning Eddie Reynoso's knowledge about the sport of boxing. Everybody's saying you should get rid of him. Like, you know what? Like, there's something called loyalty in boxing. Now, I don't believe in loyalty if a man can't do the job for you. And obviously, you as a fighter have to enhance, get the best out of your career. And if you don't feel this man's the right man for the job and he can't get the best out of you, then I feel like you should go elsewhere. But this is a guy that has been with Canelo since he was 15, and a guy that, has achieved so much with Canelo. He has one bad fight and people are asking for his head. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry to say. That is absolute absurd. I think people are so short sighted. Why would someone let someone go that has helped him? Remember, Eddie Reynoso has helped Canelo develop from the ground up. We're talking about a guy that was 15, 16, that's been with Eddie Reynoso since, like, I think he was even with him before he was pro. I think when they were amateurs and Canelo was even younger, he was with Eddie Reynoso. Why the hell would they why would he, sack Eddie Reynoso? It would be ridiculous. It would be, as far as I'm concerned, it would be stupidity, in my opinion. It would be ridiculous. That's just my opinion. Steven, what's going on, brother?
What's up with it, man? How you doing?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. How's it going? Ken, you good?
What's up, man?
I'm all good, man. All good. Steven, man, what have you made
Yes,
of
sir.
this? Like, what have you made of or all the post-fight reactions about Reynoso needs to be sacked, about this vegan diet that might have affected Canelo? What have you heard? What have you made of, like, when there's a big upset, when there's post-fight reactions, people give their opinions on what went wrong. They start blaming someone. They're now saying that Eddie Reynoso gave very poor instructions and Canelo should look to replace him.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man, about all that, man. I will say this.
Yeah.
Um, Oscar De La Hoya, he
Mm.
had he had spoken out about some things that he saw in camp. He said that and this is before the fight.
Mm.
He had said that Canelo he needs somebody he need to at the very minimum, this is the
Mm.
way I took it. At the very minimum, he
Mm.
needed somebody else in there to show him some different looks,
Yeah.
a different look, something like
Mm.
that.
Mm.
So okay, so here's the thing. Here's the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, so every you never want to get to a place in life in anything that you do. You never
Yeah.
want to get to a place where you're stagnated. You're just standing water. You're just
Mm.
there's nothing else. There's no new tricks, no new nothing.
Mm.
So I think that's what most sensible boxing fans will agree upon, is that at the very minimum he needs some different techniques and
Mm.
everything. And I seen your video earlier,
Mm.
and about the vegan diet, this, that, and the third.
Mm.
Listen,
Mm.
um, you know, there's a lot of talk about veganism, this, that, and the third. I don't know if that plays any role in this fight. Canelo
Oh
just,
yeah,
I mean, he just outclassed.
I don't think it did, to be honest. But the reason why I brought it up because someone asked me someone asked me on my Facebook saying that Imran, can you give your thoughts about why haven't you mentioned anything about the vegan diet and you haven't made a video about anything about Canelo going vegan? And I think that played a part. This guy was saying to me. So I said I made a video saying that in my opinion, I've never been vegan before, so I can't give you my experience because I've tried diets. I've tried low, calorie diets, and I've had like low carb diets. So I know what that feels like. But I've never been vegan, so I can't really say. But what I said is that if Canelo changed up his diet, why change up his diet when something's not broken? Do you know what I mean? And I said this, Stephen, if you remember, I said this before the fight, didn't I?
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
I did say that before the fight. So I don't think that really impacted the result of the fight. But what I was trying to say is that I don't know why Canelo was you don't mess around with something when it's working. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know why he did that. Did that play any bearing in terms of him losing the fight? No, I don't think so. I think Bivol he was the much smarter fighter, the more intelligent fighter on the night. But I agree with you, man. I think Canelo needs to do something different, man. He was loading up on shots, looking to take this bigger man out, man. There was nothing there, him trying to box. You know what I mean? Like, why not use your fast hands? Why not move and use your fast hands? Try to outpoint the guy. But it was like he was loading up on big shots, trying to knock out a guy that's naturally bigger. It was like Canelo's almost like he's fell in love with his power, Stephen.
Yeah, but I need to get rid of Eddie Renato. I
Yeah.
don't know if he needs to get rid of him. I mean they've been together for since day one. So I don't know if he need to get rid of him, man. Maybe introduce some new techniques, some new strategies and whatnot. But don't get rid of the guy, man. You been with him because that's the same thing that Gennady did with Abel, and I didn't like that, man. I didn't like that.
Oh, yeah.
To me, it makes it seem
You're a
like
big
you
fan. You like Abel.
yeah. I love Abel. I
Yeah.
love Abel.
Good. He's a good.
I thought they had good chemistry.
Yeah, they
You
did.
know.
Yeah, they did. They did. I don't know. Like Gennady for me, going with the guy that was Dillian White's coach as well, and he was in Klitschko's camp as well. Forgot his name. Yeah, he's a good trainer. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like he's not a Gennady Golovkin trainer. Do you know what I mean? Klitschko had a different style, more of a killer. Like he coming in and he's looking to destroy you. And I think Abel was the right trainer. They had a great. It was a great fit for him. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah. So basically, I don't think he should leave Reynoso as well. But a lot of people think that. I don't know if you saw a clip that came out. Reynoso basically was giving him some advice in the corner in the 12th round, and the advice was, in a lot of people's opinion, pathetic. For a guy he was saying something on the line, go, you can't knock him out or something like that in the 12th round. But why you give people are saying, why are you giving that advice in the 12th round? Why didn't you give that advice after 3 or 4 rounds? Because in the 12th round, if you're telling Canelo when he needs a knockout, not to go and you can't knock this guy out because he's bigger, when he needed a knockout, what advice are you giving him? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they were both. I mean, the whole camp was they were stuck between a hard rock. I mean, a rock and a hard spot. So that so it's easy for us as spectators to sit here and say, "Oh, okay, I would have told Canelo to do this and Doug and this, that, and the third." But in the moment, things are different. It ain't the same. And and Canelo was facing. He was seemingly in a place where he couldn't even gather himself because there was so much pressure on him. He didn't know how to react. There was the crowd cheering. He has all these different emotions going on, and those are the same things that Eddie Reynoso, the whole camp was, really going through. I don't know if anybody is sensible enough. That's why you need, I know people ain't gonna like what I say, but that's why you need somebody like De La Hoya who's been there, who's been there, been at the center, been at the lowest. De La Hoya would have been a good voice of rationale. He would have been a good voice of logic in that moment. But it happened, and I think people got to come to terms with certain things. Can't go pointing fingers and saying this, that, and the third, saying, "Oh, you did this wrong, this, that, and the third." The thing is where is he gonna go now? Because Canelo, this is my opinion, and this is my honest opinion. I think Canelo is in a pretty precarious place. This is what I said last time. I think that if he stay at 168, I don't know what happens at 168, because the guys at 168 know that Canelo is I'm gonna use this analogy. Canelo is wounded. He's wounded. He's a wounded deer out there. And I don't know if he's gonna fight back and gather himself and prevail, or if he's gonna be mentally hurt. Sometimes a loss you can't get. Some fighters can't get over losses. No. Some fighters can't get over that. And Canelo had the whole world in the palm of his hands. I like to let somebody else talk, but those are a couple of my thoughts.
It's Ahmed. I want to get to you then. Ahmed, Rob F says if anyone should be fired from Canelo's team, it should be the strength and conditioning coach. Canelo should look to hire an elite candidate to help him with stamina and power. What do you think, Ahmed, about stamina? What was up with Canelo's stamina in that fight?
I just think the work rate of Bivol and weight classes are there for a reason, and I just think it was a jump too far, to be honest with you. I mean, I said to you from day one. I mean, Bivol's quality, he can box, and he's got respectable power, and I think he should have just stayed away. And it's going to be difficult to beat him.
But what's with the gassing? Though? You don't expect after 4 rounds a high-level athlete like Canelo to look quite leggy, to look quite gassed. He looked out. He looked like lethargic. Is it the weight? Is it what was it? I don't understand. He just looked lethargic. Was it Bivol? Yeah, the size. Was it because Bivol's not Beterbiev? Bivol's not like, imagine what Beterbiev would do if you're gassing against Bivol, who's not the strongest at that division. He's more of a boxer. Beterbiev, imagine what Beterbiev would have done. Beterbiev would have drowned him. Who would have knocked him out.
I think he's not comfortable with the weight, to be honest with you. I mean, even against Kovalev, if he was fighting the Kovalev that beat Bernard Hopkins,
yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean. And he stood there and he did just about beat Kovalev, but it was Kovalev the one, obviously that was washed up at that time.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. D-Money, man, what are you making about this? Eddie Reynoso getting sacked and telling Eddie Reynoso needs to replace him. Do you agree? Disagree? What do you make of it?
No, we talked about this a little bit the last time. I was one of the first people I said he needs to go, but you guys kind of convinced me. No, I think that might be too much. He just needs to get Canelo back to the second Triple G fight Canelo. I feel like the new Canelo, like the one that, ran through Caleb Plant and Callum Smith and them, like that version of Canelo and his style, that's not going to be enough to beat the elite competition that, that he's trying to go up against, or he was trying to go up against. Like, that's not going to be enough.
Is it a case where Canelo's got so used to fighting a certain way against these type of guys because he was getting them out of there, and now he's come up against a fighter who he has to change up his game plan? But do you think Canelo's good enough to change up his game plan? Because you did say in the previous live stream, D-Money, that this isn't Canelo. Canelo's better than this. He's not all power. He can box. Against Jacobs, you said you were impressed with his boxing skills in that fight.
Yeah.
Imran, the power at light heavyweight is different as well. Believe me, he felt them jabs.
No, he did, but it didn't look to me like Bivol was ever going to stop him. You know what I mean? It didn't look like Canelo.
No, but he had a respectable power, man. I mean, don't forget, Bivol's been in with a banger like Joe Smith. Now, if he beat Joe Smith and if you kept him away, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, Ash. I mean, Ahmed. That's what I was saying, man. I think the same thing, man. You know what, man? Here's the meat. Here's the grimy part of it that nobody would really want to kind of face is that, you know what I'm saying, Canelo is, I mean, we're gonna have to give him a couple of fights, man, see how he responds. But if you know, if Canelo goes out there and he loses, say he loses to Benavidez, and before y'all, you know, this is just a hypothetical. Before I, you know, start ruffling any feathers, I'm just saying this is a hypothetical. Say he go out there, he lose to Benavidez, and then he turn around, he lose to Charlo. We're gonna be left with some questions. We're gonna be left with some questions in our head. What was it? Was it a mirage? Was Canelo a mirage? Was he even really that good? Now this is just the worst case scenario, guys. So don't get
I
hot about it.
agree with you, Stephen. His legacy is in a bit of a danger here. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, man.
a lot of people, especially some of the American fans, seem to think that um he's been avoiding some of the American fighters, right?
Yeah.
So if he was to fight one of them and lose,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're gonna start saying, "Oh, this guy." But let's not forget, a lot of Americans are unhappy that he's lost to a guy that's essentially a guy that they were calling bums, right? European fighter.
Yeah.
So
And you know, but Imran, let me say something real quick, man. And this is why I got mad the other day, man. Not the last stream, but the stream before that, when I
yeah,
was
yeah.
arguing with somebody. I forget who it was.
You were arguing
But
with D. You were arguing with D Money, and he's on live now.
okay, well,
That was about
this is
Crawford
what
and Harris.
yeah, this is what I get upset at. I get upset when people don't, when people just talk out they, you know what I'm saying, just talk at the side of their neck. They don't really be looking at boxes. And they don't, if you was really looking at, if you really looked at boxing and you really, you know what I'm saying, you really value the sport, you would have known who Dimitri was. You would have known who he was. Or at the very minimum, once you heard who, you know what I'm saying, that Canelo was fighting this person, you would have went back and you would have watched a bunch of his. So either you would have watched a bunch of his fights, and you would have known that, man, that he was gonna beat Canelo, man. You would have known that. You know what I'm saying? You got to start looking at stuff for yourself, man. Looking at the, you know, because I'm telling you, man, regurgitating some of these same lame, mundane talking points that the media spews and conditions you to think, you'll be conditioned. You won't have any liberation. You won't have any way of looking at anything, and you'll be kept in a box. I keep saying it, man. If you love something or you value something, you get in there. You would have known that Dimitri was a killer, man. You would have known that, like Ahmed was saying, man. You know, if he get in there and he was able to rough it up with Joe Smith, come on, man. Joe Smith was a man. That dude's a banger, man. He's a rough, rugged, and raw fighter.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah,
was
I don't
able
know.
to get in there,
But I don't know. I don't know if you could say that though, Steven, only because you know even Imran and who you have on here, Imran. Sometimes Salman, you is that your brother?
Yeah.
Even they, you know, they pick, you know, Canelo to win by knockout. You know what I'm saying? Late. You know, so it's just, you know, I
but
feel like it's just
that.
different.
And to
here's
be
the thing,
fair,
though, hold on, wait. Let me address D Money. And you know what, D Money? Last uh, D Money. Last time you was kicking that knowledge, dude. I was listening to the last stream that I was on. The last one we did before this one, man. You was dropping that knowledge, dude. So I gotta salute you, man. First of all, I'm gonna salute you and say I respect you. But
Hey,
here's the
salute,
thing,
bro. Salute.
yeah. But here's what things get, you know, with Imran and Salman. Here's what they differ. I know they boxer fans. I know they boxer fans because this is all we do is we talk turkey, man. We talk boxing all day long. So I
Yeah.
know that, you know what I'm saying, when Imran says something, when he says something, I take it much more, you know what I'm saying, of value. Of value. And now that you say stuff and I heard you last time and you came on, you was so articulate, man. I was just like sitting back and I was just listening to you. And I said, man, you know what? This dude right here, whoever this D Money cat is, he with the goods, he with the business. So
Hey, that's
I'll
love,
start
bro. That's love, bro. And you and salute to you too. I definitely could tell, you definitely been a fan of the sport a long time. You know a lot about boxing. The Crawford, the Harrison over Crawford thing just threw me for a loop. And I
well, I
went
was
too far. I apologize.
see, here's the thing with Tony Harrison, and I heard this. I heard somebody else saying on one of on a video last night. Man, Tony Harrison underrated, man, when it comes to his boxing skill. I was talking about the boxing skill. Now there are other intangibles that he don't necessarily possess. It's that championship, that champion clutch gene that Terence Bud Crawford possessed. That's what differentiates them two. But skill for skill, he is every bit of the skill fighter that Terence Bud Crawford is. He might be even a little bit more technically sound. Terence just got them intangibles that you can't teach. You can't teach those intangibles that Terence got. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have been able to tell Tony Harrison, hey man, you losing this fight, man. You gotta make something crack. And Tony Harrison flip that switch just like it was night and day. But you could with Bud. That's what made Bud the champ and not so much Tony Harrison. You understand what I'm saying?
The thing
Hey,
is,
speaking of Bud Crawford, where y'all have I know I got Bud Crawford #1 now, but where y'all got Canelo now? I got him around #4.
to be honest, Marky, I still got him pretty high up there because he lost to a guy in another weight class, you know what I mean? But he's still undisputed champion at his weight class. And let's be honest, even 168 is not his weight class, is it? Really, when you think about it, Canelo's really a natural 160 pounder that's moved up. So I don't know whether you can a loss is a loss, right? A loss is a loss, and he's lost the fight. So you have to go down a little bit. You know what I mean? You can't put a guy #1 that's lost the fight. For me personally, Usyk's #1, right? I don't see how people can
You gotta say Usyk.
how could you put Crawford over Usyk when Crawford's
But
like last couple of fights are against like a washed up Khan, washed up Brook, washed up. I mean, old Porter was a good win, but Porter's just retired as well. So I don't see how can you say that Usyk beating Anthony Joshua, unified heavyweight champion, beating Brakes, beating Gassiev, beating
my
Michael Hunter, beating Glowacki. How can you say Crawford's done more over the last couple of years? And Usyk is so disrespected. The people put him at #6, #7 pound for pound. Are you what are you
my
smoking?
my my thing, Imran, is this. Me personally, I don't have a problem with anybody else putting Usyk #1, but me personally, I don't put heavyweights on the pound for pound list.
But he wasn't a
That's just
heavyweight,
me.
bro. The
No,
cruiserweight.
I know. He was undisputed at cruiserweight, but
Yeah.
still, my thing is, once you move up to heavyweight, and I think of Evander Holyfield the same way. Like I don't think of Evander Holyfield in no all time pound for pound discussions. So once you move up to heavyweight, in my opinion, I
Yeah.
think you get removed from that. That's me.
But Marky, let me ask you a question then, right? You
Uh
don't
huh.
think that Usyk should be in not like in a pound for pound discussion for #1, even though he moved up from cruiserweight and to fight Anthony Joshua, who's 50 pounds heavier than him. Like
Hey,
Anthony,
I get.
he fought a guy 30 pounds heavier. So I think Usyk weighed in at 220 pounds, and Anthony Joshua was around 250 pounds. That's a 30-pound difference. No, like
Man,
Terence Crawford faced anyone that's
Oh,
30 pounds.
hey, Imran, check it out, man. Check this
Yeah,
out, man.
yep.
yeah.
I agree with you, man. Real quick, man. I just want to say this real quick. So I might have to hop off here in a second, man.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this real quick, man, as it pertains to the pound for pound, discussion, man. That's a discussion that I just came to the realization, man. Just now, man, I was looking at the window, and I was thinking, who really is pound for pound? Now, if you ask me, I say the boy Usyk, because Usyk, he going, what I'm saying, he bringing a fight to these kids in their own backyard. And you know what I'm saying, Usyk is really he really a glorified cruiserweight, if you ask me. And you know, if you ask me, I think he really a glorified cruiserweight. But you know what, man? When it comes to the pound for pound list and everything, it's always a lot of discussion. And that's a fight that you ain't never gonna win because it's subjective. It's subjective.
Right.
Yeah.
Imran, I agree with Imran. I agree with you. Obviously, Usyk was cruiserweight, undisputed champion, and heavyweight, so he's got to be in the pound for pound. It's not like Usyk was a natural heavyweight. So Usyk is in the competition, and I've got him second pound for pound. I've got Crawford number 1, Usyk number 2, and then you could still have Canelo at number 3 or 4.
And you love Crawford, so you ain't gonna put anyone ahead of him. I'm talking on
Crawford.
merit. You think Crawford deserves to
Crawford finna get the brakes beat off of him.
I mean, Crawford is in his third weight. Crawford is in his third weight class, and he's knocking everybody out of the weight class.
You can't. What I mean is, here's the thing: the size difference from cruiserweight to heavyweight is much bigger than anything Crawford's gone to. Do you see what I'm saying? Crawford started his career at 135 and moved to 147. That's 12 pounds. Like Usyk just fought a guy like Usyk cruiserweight is 200 pounds. He fought a guy that was 250 pounds. That's a 50-pound difference. That's what pound for pound, right? Pound for pound.
I'll tell you what. I mean. If Crawford take this Spence fight, we gonna see what's up. Because I'll tell you what, boy. I mean, I'm willing to bet anything. Spence gonna stop. He gonna stop your boy. He gonna stop Crawford. He gonna stop. I
think Bud Crawford is gonna win. Now, let me say it's gonna be a war. I don't got no doubt about that. Both dudes are gonna come in there and they're gonna try to destroy each other. I don't got a doubt about that shit.
Yeah.
Crawford, Terrence Bud is getting stopped. He going to the hospital that night.
Mikey Garcia didn't go anywhere.
Mikey Garcia knocked out. But Terrence ain't gonna try to fight, and that's gonna be his mistake.
Let me say this: when Bud Crawford step in that ring, he's not coming to outbox you. He's coming to take your soul. Okay? He's coming to snatch your fucking soul from your body. And man, I would not be surprised if Spence get knocked out. I would not be surprised.
What is EJ coming to do?
He's coming to take your eye socket.
To play Uno? I said, you think EJ coming in to play Uno, play a game in Yahtzee? He coming in to kick some ass, man. Come on, dude.
Yeah,
I just need a fight to get signed. I don't care who wins, to be honest.
Stephen Bomack, your favorite trainer, said that Errol Spence is gonna get dominated. He said Errol.
No. He had too much McDonald's that day. He had too many double cheeseburgers that day.
Man, Bomack talked too much shit, man.
Yeah,
I'll tell you something though. The longer it goes on, the more chance Errol Spence has, because obviously he's wasted 2-3 years, and Crawford's not getting any younger. And obviously, when I seen Crawford against Jeff Horn and Kell Brook and that, he looked devastating. And even against Porter, but you could see him in age will catch up to him. So the fight needs to happen this year.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna call EJ bone crusher.
I think when you look at Pacquiao, you know, he was a really, you know, still a good fighter. And Ugas beat him pretty convincingly, and then Errol came in there and dominated Ugas. So a lot of people are saying like Crawford. So that for me had to put Errol. You had to put Errol like really high up on the pound for pound list, or you know, in the mix up there. And then a lot of people are saying, you know, and I'm just looking even from my own eyes, like Crawford can beat Errol, or probably, you know, is likely to beat Errol. It's 50-50, you know. So I feel like that only speaks to the talent that Terence is, you know what I'm saying, as far as where he is on the pound for pound list. He got to be right next to Errol or ahead of Errol, you know.
I got him 1 and 2.
you know what I'm saying? And everybody always talk about this so-called pound for pound list, but EJ ain't never on there, man. You know what I'm
Yeah, he
saying?
gotta be on there.
Y'all
No,
cut that out, man. Y'all knock it off with that.
be that he shouldn't be like he shouldn't be like he should be probably like 5 or 6 in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, that's cool because you ain't never respected EJ, man.
No, but what
You
you think
ain't
he should be number 1?
No, but for real, Imran.
Imran, Imran,
What, you number 1?
They coming for Imran.
Imran.
Imran
Yeah, man.
said Spence ain't got no power. I remember that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he's a big power puncher. I don't think he's a huge puncher. But I did say he beats Crawford. So, but for me that's a 50-50 though. That's a 50-50. But
What happened to you, Imran? Was you seen that ass whooping that he put on that he put
yeah,
on Ugas,
I,
and everybody know
I,
Ugas is a killer, and you was like, oh snap, man, Terrence is
hey,
some
Steven, you were
deep
picking
trouble.
Ugas to win as well. Hang on a minute, you were picking Ugas to win that fight.
Yeah, I was. I did.
Exactly. So we all changed our mind. But the thing is, I changed my mind after that, man. That was a devastating performance, to be fair.
That was
I
oh,
Ugas might win that fight. You know what I mean? Ugas is a good fighter. And he just totally went in there and he dominated. He beat him up, really.
It's the
Ugas
way
was
how he does it, man. It's like he don't knock people out, but it's like going late into fights. You see, like he hits people, and their whole body language changes. It's
changes.
like, yeah, man. Like Ugas looked like he didn't want to be there
Yeah, he
after
said
about like
that.
the 7-8 round.
Yeah.
And
what
this is
you
we
gotta
talking about
realize,
Udonis Ugas.
Ugas, the thing is, remember, Spence is massive for the weight as well. So he's a lot bigger than most. Although Ugas is massive as well. But a lot of the guys that Spence is fighting are, he's bigger than. He's massive. Let's see the size of Spence.
Was he bigger than Kell Brook though?
Hey?
Was he bigger than Kell Brook?
In what sense? He's taller than Kell Brook. Was he bigger than Kell Brook?
Like in terms of weight.
He's small. He was younger at that time though. Like he was young. He was what? How old was he when he fought Kell Brook? 27.
Yeah, I think about.
Yeah, exactly. And remember, Kell Brook had his eye busted as well. In the fight with Spence and before the previous fight. So, for me, that's the only guy that I think was as big as Spence. Everyone else, I don't think they're as big as Errol Spence. And Crawford's
What about what I'm saying? What about somebody like Danny G, man? Danny Garcia, man, is as tough.
That was a beatdown, man. That was a
There's a
beatdown.
beatdown, man. And I ain't never, there's few fighters that are tough as Danny Garcia.
Oh, he's got a great chin. He's got a great chin.
Yeah, but Crawford would have battered Danny Garcia.
He outboxed him. He outboxed Garcia. He didn't really. I don't think Spence really went in that fight. Like he didn't batter him. You know how he battered Mikey Garcia or battered Ugas. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
I think he had respect for Garcia. He had respect for his power. He didn't want to get caught by the left hook.
Imran.
Yeah.
Crawford would have battered Danny Garcia.
I think Crawford would have knocked out Danny Garcia. That's me personally.
No,
I got a lot of respect for Danny Garcia's chin. I got a lot of respect for his chin, but Crawford is a demon when he get in that ring.
Yeah, tripping, man.
Mark,
He
I
don't when he turn that switch, he knock you out, man.
Yeah.
Knocks out Danny G. I'll be honest.
We gonna see, man. We gonna see.
Hey, but I tell you what, the Phenom is fighting this weekend. Boots Ennis is fighting this weekend. Listen, Spence and Crawford, they need to get that fight done now, because Boots Ennis is not gonna wait. Okay? Because he's gonna be the mandatory after this weekend, and he's not gonna wait.
Boots, man. Listen. Boots got a lot to prove, man. Listen, I ain't finna jump on the Boots bandwagon. Now
I'm on the Boots bandwagon.
Stephen, Boots is gonna knock Spence out, man. In my opinion, if they fight,
they're not gonna fight. We ain't got to worry about that.
Boots is gonna do Spence like Spence will do Crawford, in my opinion. Watch if they fight.
Crawford Crawford is gonna beat Spence, and
Oh,
he'll go up and beat Jermell Charlo as well to be four-division champion, three undisputed weight
oh
categories.
my God.
I
Oh man,
mean, you crazy, man. If you think he gonna beat Jermell Charlo, if you think
Yeah.
he got anything other than a NyQuil night out, a sleepover coming with Jermell Charlo, man, you crazy, man. You got too much faith in Bud.
No, but he's proving it. He's showing fight after
Mel
fight
got to
that
win
he's
this
capable.
weekend.
I mean, he knocked out Kell Brook. He knocked out Sean Porter. 147. Who else could do that to them two?
Yeah. True.
So he's showing me fight by fight that he's more than capable of doing something like that.
Well, I mean, this is what I gotta say though. Did he really knock out Sean Porter? Did he
Of
really
course.
knock him?
Yeah. If
You don't think he could have got a third knockdown?
I mean, it was 2 rounds.
Left, he had been boxing good. Hold on, man.
But Jose makes a point in the chat, right? He says, but Khan and Brook were way past it, though. And
But you look at the manner of the victory, though. Nobody's done that to Kell Brook that quick. Knocked him with one punch.
No, but I don't like Kell Brook was beaten by Spence in similar fashion, right?
Yeah, but Spence stopped him late.
Yeah, but that was a fresher Kell Brook.
Well, you can say he's a fresher, but at the same time, he was wary of his eye. And if somebody's wary of your own eye, put yourself in his position, thinking, "Oh my God, shit! I mean, the doctor said this to me. What if I carry on with this day? I've been hit again on the eye." Because if it wasn't for that, I think Kell Brook would have gone the distance with Errol Spence.
When Kell Brook fought Bud, right? He was wary about the eye because he had 2 eye sockets broken, and also he hadn't made welterweight for around 4 years. So, like, there's a lot of things going off in that, and he wasn't with Dominic Ingle either. So, like, I don't know, man. I think Brook was done, to be honest.
With Dominic or not, it would have been the same result.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying I think Crawford would have beat him, but what I'm saying is I think Brook was done out here. You know what I mean? I don't know. The Errol Spence and Crawford fight is a good fight.
Also, Imran, going back to the Canelo on that, it's just that Canelo's achieved a lot in the game. It's just we now put him on a higher pedestal. And like I said to you, if he was to beat Bivol, I'd put him equal to Andre Ward. And he's fell short of beating Bivol. And now I don't think in any way he could have been a prime Andre Ward.
Me either.
Here's the thing though, we're writing Canelo off. What's to say Canelo's not gonna come back? It's like Canelo's he can't win 7 rounds against Bivol at 175. If he brought him down to 168, like I said to you, on an even playing field, Bivol would beat him. But Bivol might be making a mistake, thinking he could go down to 168 and do the same thing. I don't think it's quite wise. I think he should have the rematch at 175 because at 168, I do give Canelo a better chance.
Yeah, he has a better chance at 168, but you got to think about this for Bivol. If Bivol beats Canelo at 168 and becomes undisputed at 168, then goes back up, if they allow it, and then goes back up to 175 and beats Beterbiev, then he's on, the winner of Beterbiev, Joe Smith, and he's undisputed in 2 weight classes and #1 pound for pound, in my opinion, and that's just it.
But Bivol's been a career 175 pounder. If he did, I think going down to 168 is a risk for him.
But Bivol is a small 175 pounder.
No, he is capable of beating Canelo at 168 as well. But I'm just saying, the safe side is keep your strength and size. I knew at 175. It is tough for Canelo to take 7 rounds of Bivol at 175.
Here's the thing,
but
man.
Canelo is going to bring him to 168, and he's going to put a rehydration clause on him. I guarantee it.
That'd be wild. Imran, go ahead.
No, I think. Look, I think we're overreacting. Some fans are overreacting in the sense that he got beat by the better man on the night. Bivol was really good. You know what I mean? He performed performed out of his skin. I haven't seen him perform like that, to be honest. I didn't see that kind of performance coming throughout his career. Yeah, he hasn't performed to that kind of level. He was exceptional. By the end of the day, let's not forget, right? Canelo's not just going to sit on his ass. He's going to go back. They're going to study. They're going to come up with a game plan for next time. As D Money said, that he's seen Canelo better than what we've seen before. So they're going to go back. They're going to study, and then they'll come back. You don't become a bad fighter over one fight, you know?
I think he could. So my bad. Go ahead. My bad.
Go on, Marky. Go on.
No, I think it's just the style. I think the jab and the footwork, how Bivol just kept the jab on him all night, and he got in, he got out. I think that style just gives him problems. I don't really think it has anything to do with the size or the weight. That's my opinion, though.
I think it had to do.
You don't think
I think
Canelo
it had to
can do
do-
anything to
Go ahead.
offset? You don't think Canelo can do anything to offset Bivol?
Not at 175.
No, but as
Not
Mark said, it wasn't the weight or the size.
No, it wasn't the weight or the size, but end of the day, Bivol had his full strength at 175.
Yeah, but I don't want him to handicap Bivol to beat him. I want if he's gonna beat Bivol, he's got to beat him properly. Not you might as well say, all right, you might as well come with, to the ring with dumbbells on your feet. You know, what's the point? Want to beat him?
Imran, if that's what you want, then he just can't beat Bivol, man. He just can't. He just can't beat Bivol.
I'd have to. He'd have to beat him again for me to.
Imran, that one.
Like when
He can't.
Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko, a lot of people were saying it's a fluke, right? They were saying it's a fluke at that time because Fury, you know, a lot of people didn't rate Fury, right? People rated Bivol. But the point I'm trying to make is let's be honest, I know now a lot of people are saying that Bivol would have always beat Canelo and Bivol, you know, was better and this, that, and the other. But no, not many people were saying that before the fight. So now after the fight, you said it. But what I'm saying is before the fight, nobody was saying that majority of people weren't saying that Bivol was just better than Canelo, were they? A lot of people were saying this was a cherry. They were saying that this is an easy fight. So the point I'm trying to make is if Bivol beats Canelo again, like, look, Muhammad Ali fought Ken Norton 3 times. He struggled against him 3 times. The style was a problem. Ken Norton isn't a better fighter than Muhammad Ali.
No, he wasn't.
Muhammad Ali got beaten 3 times against Ken Norton. So this is what I'm trying to say. Maybe Bivol's just got his number, but again, we need to see the fight again for us to kind of confirm that. Canelo could have had an off night. Anything could have been any, you know.
I don't think Canelo looked. I don't think Canelo looked as good as he could have looked. Like it seemed like he didn't have a game plan. It seemed like his stamina was definitely below what he could have done. It wasn't like, oh yeah, Canelo just struggles. To me, it looked like 4th round, 5th round. He was done. He was gassed. It was like it was noticeable. You know, that's not Canelo. That's not something I could say about his career. Every fight he fights, by the 5th round, you know, he's gassed. You know.
Hey, but Eddie Reynoso needs some get back. He's 0-3 this year. My bad. Go ahead.
Let me ask Imran something real quick. Okay, so if they fight again, and Canelo lose, what does this do for Canelo? Okay, we got to think about Canelo and his longevity. It's not going to do nothing for Canelo but further decimate him and further damage his career. He needs to leave Bivol alone. He needs to go on back down there to 168. And I don't even know how he's going to fare at 168.
It's like what I'm saying is, Stephen, is that after one fight, you're saying that he shouldn't go near Bivol because you saw a good performance by Bivol. But what's to say that Canelo can't turn things round? Like I've seen fighters in the rematch turn things round. Like it's not like he's been beat twice and Canelo wants a trilogy with him when he's been beat conclusively twice. Like Wilder fought Fury 3 times and Wilder was beaten pretty conclusive. Like, I mean, he was beaten in the first fight, yeah, but you know, Wilder knocked him down. In the second fight, he was battered from pillar to post. They still had
The
a third fight.
difference is, but the difference is, Imran, is that the first Wilder Fury fight was close. Okay,
Oh
but it
yeah,
was apparent
but not the
that
second
second.
one.
But no. Listen, this I was getting to that. The second fight, it was apparent that Deontay needed to go on about his business and cut his losses after that second loss. Okay, but he had to go pushing the issue, and you see what happened. Where's he at now? What
But
happened
here's the
to
thing,
what
man.
And then
happened
they
to?
had
We got one
the
of the
cheating
best
scandals
heavyweight
and all
fights
that.
ever in the third fight. We got one of the best heavyweight fights ever in the third fight. Did we or did we not? Did you not
Yeah.
think that was one of the heavyweight fights of all time, the third fight?
Right, but what did he do
It
for
was.
Deontay though? What happened to Deontay? What happened to him? He's damaged goods now.
Stock went up. His stock went up, in my opinion.
No, his stocks went down, man. He ain't been the same, man. Rand. He ain't been the same. He's bleeding out his ears.
So same in what sense? He knocked Fury down two times in that fight. Fury, like, we don't know. He's not fought anybody else apart from Fury, so we don't know if
And there's a reason why. That's what I'm saying. Do you want to see Canelo? You sit here and you make video at the video at the video at the video at the video about Canelo. Do you want to see Canelo's damaged goods? If you love him, let him go.
Thing is, right? Thing is, if he fights at 168, who do you want to see him fight?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. At this point, his easiest fight, and I don't know if this is easy anymore. It's because I don't think that Canelo that was in that ring. I don't think he's gonna beat that Canelo. Ain't beating Andrade. He ain't beating Andrade.
No.
Imran, I've got another way for Canelo to enhance his legacy and not move up to 175. Is try and have 15 defenses at 168.
15 defenses at 168.
Yeah, that'll be awesome for him.
But that don't really matter in this day and age because now it's about who you fight.
No, because you get up and coming challenges. 15 fights at defenses at 168 for Canelo would be awesome. I just think we just pushed him on a pedestal, that a bit too much. We comparing him to like Roy Jones and even Andre Ward, but he's slightly below them guys. He's below them guys. But at 168, he'd carve out great legacy by having 15 defenses at 168, because I think that will be very tough for him to do anyway.
So here's the thing, though. So Ahmed, you think pound for pound, Andre Ward is ahead of Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so too.
Weight classes, bro.
That's the best example.
5 weight classes.
No, I'll change it. I'm not gonna say pound for pound definitely, but Andre Ward would beat Canelo Alvarez.
But he's bigger. He's much bigger than Canelo.
Andre Ward's capable of coming out of retirement and beating Canelo Alvarez now.
I think so too.
No, that's bullshit. He would
You got him wrong, swear.
That's bullshit. Ward's like 37 years of age.
Give Andre Ward a couple months. Give him 2 tune-up fights. He gonna come in there and he's gonna outclass Canelo.
He couldn't outclass Kovalev. He lost the first fight to Kovalev.
Kovalev was a beast.
Fight he was losing as well.
But Imran, you know what he did though? The boy came back in the second fight and he stopped Kovalev, man. And that ain't the same Kovalev.
And that was Kovalev on the decline. That was
but it wasn't the same Kovalev that Canelo fought.
Yeah, I know it wasn't, but he was on the decline though, man. He was on the decline.
He was still a killer though.
After
Imran, he was a crusher at that time. He was a crusher at that time. People were afraid of him at that time. And what did Andre Ward do? He went straight in there.
Imran.
He was declining at that time when he fought him the second time. He was out the ring. Ward said himself that he wasn't living the life. Ward said it. Ward gave us that information that Kovalev has got a drinking problem. He's got issues outside the ring. Ward made that up. So Ward gave away that information. So he kind of told us that Kovalev's not living the life. So he kind of ruined his own win in a way. Because fine.
You're still a very dangerous guy at that time, undefeated, knocking everybody out, power in both hands, and Andre Ward neutralized him. Even in the first fight, he neutralized him.
He was losing the fight, bro, up until he got knocked out. How
No,
did
he knocked Andre Ward down in the first. He knocked Andre Ward down in the first fight,
and he got a
but
decision.
he started to get neutralized.
The second fight, he was losing on points, and then he stopped it. Kovalev ran out of gas. He caught him with a good shot, and then he knocked him out.
Andre Ward nicked the first fight, and he beat him the second fight.
Andre Ward nicked him the first fight.
Yeah, he neutralized him. Towards the end of the fight, Andre Kovalev thought he could run through and knock out Andre Ward, but it don't work like that. Andre Ward's a fighter at the highest.
The majority of people had Kovalev winning that fight. How can you neutralize somebody when the majority of people how many people had Ward winning that first fight?
He nicked him. He got the decision.
Who won the first fight?
I say Kovalev did, but he came back though. This is what I'm saying though. The comparison is not really a real comparison, because that first fight, like him or love him or hate him, Kovalev and Andre Ward fall down to the bone. I gave Kovalev that fight, but this first fight with Dietary and Canelo was a wash, dude. It was total domination. It was total domination, man. It was a dominant display of who was the real mono in that mono fight.
Imran, also Bivol and Beterbiev obviously are the best light heavyweights. I think Canelo would struggle against Joe Smith Jr. as well.
No, I would pick him to beat Joe Smith.
I think it would be
Trust me, Joe Smith Jr. hits very hard. Let me tell you.
I think what happened is when Canelo had beat Kovalev, I think that made everybody thinking Canelo himself think that he could actually campaign at 175 and beat the other dudes at 175. But that Kovalev isn't anywhere close to the top guys at 175 now. And I think that's what threw people off, because Canelo became a champion at 175 when he did that. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm a champion. He's a champion, whatever. I can do it. But that Kovalev, that wasn't. He's not there no more.
Hey, we throwing out all these names, but you know the one dude who I have no doubt would beat Canelo? David Morrell.
This is what I'm saying to you.
David Morrell would destroy Canelo. I don't have a doubt in my mind.
Imran, this is why I'm saying Canelo should have 15 defenses at 168, because that would include Morrell Jr.
Okay, yeah, that's what I said. That's why I've been saying, man.
This is why will enhance his legacy.
Hamed is 30 years old. If he fights 15 times, where do you want to fight till he's 50?
Yeah, he's going to be 40.
No, 36, 37. That's it.
Nah, man, he's
I don't
old.
think that's not realistic.
Who?
Canelo's had a lot of fights.
That's not realistic. But yeah, I do think that Canelo he behind the 8 ball, man, right now, because like you said, there's some real live killers that waiting on them, just rubbing their hands together at 168. Because David Morrell, you talking about?
You better jump on him right now.
Imran, do you really want Canelo to rematch Bivol? Like, you don't think that's a huge at 168? Like, you think, because at 175, like you said, like they were just getting a repeat.
Not 168. What does he get if he beats him? He was trained. Well, he don't gain anything from that. He don't gain anything. If he beats Bivol at 168, people are gonna say, well, he like what's it? Marky Dan said, he put a rehydration clause on. He's not gonna get the credit. Do you see what I mean? No one wants to give Canelo credit out here. So if he does that, he's gonna get discredited. You know what I mean? So if he's gonna fight Bivol, fight him at 175 and beat the man. Conor McGregor did that when he got beat by Diaz, right? He went and fought the man at his weight and beat him at his weight. So that's what
beat him at 175 though.
Okay.
Do you think Canelo can, like, actually in reality, not only judge cards?
I think he should do D-Money. I think he should take the fight at 175, but he should weigh in less.
Yeah, you told me that, yeah.
And use his movement and try to be, because he can't fight at 175 in the sense, if he comes at 175, he's too slow. He's too lethargic. He runs out of gas. He might even run out of gas anyway, because I said that Canelo has stamina issues.
Imran.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree that he's a great fighter? Like, is he one of the greats, Canelo?
Of course. Like,
of course.
Okay, let me.
I think he's a Hall of Famer, but I don't think he's no all-time great, in my opinion.
Oh, wow.
I think, you know, if he doesn't avenge that loss, he can't go down as a great.
Wow.
Because all the greats have had losses and they've gone back and they've rematched and won. You know, your Sugar Ray Leonard, your Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, you know, top fighters that came against adversity but then came back and beat the guy. If he avoids Bivol now, then he can never be a great.
No, he'll still be a grey, but just where would you put him as a grey? You'd put him in the lower category.
Everyone before this fight was saying, you know, Canelo's the main man, he's a pound for pound number one, and you know he's the face of boxing, and he's a great fighter. But all I'm putting out there is that if he's a great fighter, all the previous greats that have lost have always avenged their losses. So if he's any great as he is, like people say, he should take that 175 rematch and beat him at 175.
I just think Canelo look better at 168. I think
it's not possible.
No, I don't think so, man. I think, and Imran, you were even saying it, and so even Imran saying, like, you know, Canelo at 175, he just looks, and even against Kovalev, he just looks too slow, like too, you know, it's almost like lethargic, almost like he at 175, he doesn't have the work rate required to keep up with Bivol 12 rounds, like, and he doesn't have the power at 175 to get him out of there either.
Not even that.
So
Bivol's a better fighter. Bivol's a better fighter. He's better skilled. That's why, and he's bigger. So this is why you neutralized him. If he wasn't a better fighter, Canelo would have found a way to beat him like he does with the rest of them. Because Bivol's a top class fighter, and he's got all the skills in the bag, and he's a bigger guy. That's why he showed. That's why he beat the fuck out of him. My language.
Little Penny, come on here, man.
Yeah, Leo Penny's in the thing is, Stephen, Leo Penny's in the camp where Canelo can come back and Canelo can win the rematch. You're not going to agree with him.
I just can't see Canelo taking 7 rounds. I can't see him taking 7 rounds of Bivol.
He took, well, according to the judges, he took 5 rounds in this one. All he has to do is maybe do a little bit better and they'll give him the fight.
Yeah, but on an even playing field, he can't take 7 of Bivol.
I don't want Canelo to end up getting no dodgy decisions because it doesn't do anything for his legacy, does it?
Hey, if they gave that fight a draw, them people would have burned that building to the ground. Cause
not really. They were all Canelo fans in there, man.
Did you hear them booing Canelo? Did you not hear that?
I didn't.
No, I didn't hear him booing.
They were booing Canelo when he was just laying on the ropes around the 8th to 10th round.
Yeah, they turned on him quick, man. They turned
on,
man.
I thought you meant after the fight. I think I did hear it during the fight. It was not. I don't know if it was like, I don't know. Yeah, it was something.
But what were they booing on? Booing him, booing performance. What were they booing?
They were booing the performance. He was just laying on the ropes. It looked like he just gave up.
Yeah, can I make a confession to y'all?
I think he was trying to get Bivol to do.
I don't think.
Hey, can I make a confession to y'all?
Go on.
Okay, here's my confession. All right. Okay, now I'll be honest with you. Canelo right now, with all this vegan talk, all this I won talk, is kind of making him look like a pathetic dude. It's kind of making him look bad. Now
you need to go back to that Mexican beef.
Right. You need to go back to the Mexican beef, man, because making these excuses ain't gonna do nothing for you, man. It ain't gonna do nothing to help your place.
Did you hear
now,
him say that?
Y'all tell me if I'm wrong.
4 or 5
Am I wrong or what?
I'm gonna just say this.
He need to do something. He need to do something because all I'm saying is that I know that the Canelo. Do y'all think that the Canelo that we watch is the best that Canelo can do? That's the best preparation that he can have for Bivol.
Nah, I think he could be better.
Yeah, I think he can be better too. So
And
if he can be
if
better,
he can be better, let me tell you something. Bivol only fought this fight just to get the win. In the second fight, you must see Bivol up in ante as well.
that is also true. And I was saying if Canelo does it at one, this is the problem that Canelo has. After the fight, he shouldn't have went in the post conference and said, it was the weight, that might have been too much, whatever. Because now Bivol like, what was it, the next day, 2 days later, Bivol was like, I'm willing to go down to 168 for the rematch. So now it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
he was.
okay, now you want to fight him at 168 for all your belts? Like,
Man,
bro,
he should have not said that.
it's 7
Biv-
pounds. And Bivol,
Hey,
man,
hey,
he's been
y'all,
facing greatness.
y'all, hey, Bivol was like, "I'm your Huckleberry." Yeah,
Right.
he was like, "You say what, man?" He's like, "Man, I go down to 168 then."
Nah, you know what it was?
I mean,
It wasn't that he cherry picked Bivol. It was that he had two options, and PBC side and this side, all the fights were tough. And so he thought, you know what, I'd rather go and fight my man and then Triple G than fight Jermell, Charlo and Benavidez, because they were, in a way, in his eyes, tougher fights. So in a way, the boxing, boxing, community in a way, put him in a corner where he had to take a tough fight, and so he had to take Bivol. He wouldn't have fought Bivol. He only fought Bivol because he'd rather fight Bivol than a Jermell Charlo or a Benavidez. So when people say, oh, he's picking tough fights, he didn't pick the fight. He wanted to fight that black guy, that big heavyweight. He wanted to fight Mukabu. But when everyone started picking up a fuss about it, then he's like, shit, what should I do? Then he got offered these two contracts. One, you fight these three guys. One, you fight these three guys. And he took the easiest one that he thought. So at the end of the day, you know what? I just see in that fight there, his limitations have come up. He's been shown come against a guy. If you're that great, you don't get whitewashed like that.
But Bivol's better than Benavidez and Charlo.
But you can't say that, because the end of the day, we don't know that Bivol hasn't fought really at any top competition compared to on a Canelo level.
Oh man, Joe Smith Jr., Gene Pascal, he showed to us where he belonged.
Yeah, but them fights are not many people know about him. Not many people have seen him. Only people like guys like us on this panel would know a bit about Bivol. Normally, you know, a lot of people know about Jermell Charlo. Maybe the Mexican community knows about Benavidez. No one really knows much about Bivol, if you know what I mean.
And I tell you what, Mike Tyson and Stephen A. Smith, they pushing for Benavidez now. So now the public is going to perceive that maybe Canelo is avoiding Benavidez.
Yeah,
I don't know what you guys.
It's bad.
Man, Canelo will.
Imran, it's like Imran, I think your mic is a little low, man. I think just a little bit.
What, can you not hear?
I can hear you now.
We can hear you, but it was a little light. Like,
can you hear me now?
Hear you as loud.
I think he beat Benavidez, but still the public perception, because Mike Tyson is saying that Canelo is avoiding him, and now Stephen A. Smith is jumping on that train. I think the public will now perceive, oh, Canelo is avoiding this guy, and now it's even worse because he just lost. So I think he got to fight Benavidez soon. That's my opinion.
He's not gonna listen, man. He's not gonna beat David. He's not gonna beat Wavy Davy. I've been saying that.
I think he's gonna beat him.
I don't think. This, but you know what I'm saying? Wavy Davy, Benavidez, and Bivol, man, they spar all the time. So it's a similar skill set right there. And if he can't beat one, he can't beat the other. Canelo is a bad situation.
If Canelo's
got a bad chance of beating Benavidez than Bivol.
Any Canelo fans out there, please join the stream to save your boy, because he is outnumbered badly.
He's getting cooked
right now.
Canelo, yeah, I'm a big fan of Canelo, as everyone knows.
Man, his fans been hiding.
What I remember is that if you watch his two losses, the only way you beat him is with a good jab. And obviously, Bivol had his jab in his face all 12 rounds, and so with Mayweather. So if you got a good jab and you got good skills and you can, stand in front of him and not run around and stand in front of him and box and counter punch him, then you can beat him.
He hates pressure too, like a gremlin hates like a gremlin hates water.
Yeah,
And Benavidez, he got that hellacious pressure, man.
Yeah, but
Canelo's in a bad situation.
pressure is not educated. It's not educated. He's very slow on his feet, and his fast hands are only good when he's in range. That's the problem. Like Benavidez isn't a top, like he isn't a fundamentally sound fighter. He's been dropped by
I
lower
agree.
level poor opposition. He's been dropped by Ronald Ellis and people that who did he get dropped by early on in his career? He's fought very poor level competition. And don't sleep on David Lemieux. Lemieux can punch. Lemieux can punch. And if he cracks David on the chin, right, I won't be surprised if that fight turns out to be tough because Lemieux is a big puncher. I don't know whether his power is going to translate to 168, but at 160, Lemieux could really crack. And Benavidez is fundamentally a very flawed fighter. He's not Bivol. Bivol is technically very sound, a very good amateur, a guy that's had 300 amateur fights.
I understand
Benavidez
that.
is not technically great fighter. I'm being serious. I'm looking at his skill. His skill set is very limited. He's
Yeah, Imran, I agree with you there, Imran. Bivol's better than Benavidez. I think Canelo's got a better chance with Benavidez.
I don't even think it's close. I don't even think Benavidez and Bivol are in the same category. But obviously, Benavidez has got a lot of American hype behind him. Fair enough. Like, I get that. But he's not that great in terms of when looking at him technically, unless he proves it in the ring.
Imran, whenever you hear Bivol talk about Benavidez, there's mad respect because they spar each other all the time. So he knows. But hold on, but let's check me out, Imran. He knows what Benavidez is capable of doing. That's why he always whenever go back and look at his interviews, look at Dietary when he's talking. He's always talking, and when they talk about each other, they know their skill set is right par to par. They know that. Canelo is in a very, 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 very bad spot. He's in a bad spot.
I'll be honest with you. I don't even think Benavidez beats Charlo or Andrade, to be honest with you. I think both of them have a great. I think Andrade would straight up school him, straight up outbox him.
Andrade maybe, but he'll beat Charlo. He'll beat Jermell.
But I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Benavidez, man. I rate Andrade.
You don't think that's. But you don't think that's weak how he's calling out a 160-pounder, but David Morrell called him out directly to his face? You don't think that's weak? David Morrell. Benavidez. Benavidez.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, man. I agree with you. David Morrell Jr., man, is a complete killer. He's an absolute killer. Don't nobody want no smoke with him. But we ain't talking about him. We ain't talking about him.
You bet. Well, you're gonna talk about him soon. I'm telling you.
I know I am, because I'm talking about him right now. Listen, David Morrell Jr. with the business, dude. Listen, everybody on here, listen, take notice now. David Morrell Jr. with the business, dude. He with the business. But you know what I'm saying? So that's what I said. He got all those killers just waiting, man. Just waiting for their turn at him. Cause see, what happened was, this is the thing. And this is I made this point before in our streams last summer or something like that. Okay, but here's the thing with Canelo. See, he's essentially put himself in a. See, if you ask me, he should have fought Makabu. Okay, that would have been. But I think he would have probably got beat by Makabu too, just off the sheer strength and physicality. But see, this is the deal. Canelo has ran out of options. Okay, so all those options that were once more available, it's like he's playing a card game and he kept on using his get out of jail free card. Now there's no more get out of jail free cards. So guess what? You gotta tough it out. You gotta show what you're made of. And I'm not here to say that Canelo is washed. It's a wash for him. That is over with. I will say this though, his future is very, very extremely, unless he go back down to 160, okay? Because Andrade done moved up to 168. If he go down to 160, he might be good, but he got some judgment calls to make now. Because you ain't got nothing but a bunch of killers, a sea full of killers waiting for you. It's like the sharks done tasted blood, and then everybody just want at him.
Imagine if he fought John Ryder next.
Who beats him? Who beats Canelo at 168?
Morrell, Andrade.
Morrell or Andrade.
Andrade's gonna be a
Morrell
test.
beat Canelo on what basis? Who is he beaten that will suggest that he would beat Canelo at
It's
168?
just the style
Yeah,
and the
it's
talent.
just in style and talent, yeah, and youth.
Yeah, he definitely ain't beating Andrade right now. Not with that. Not with what I saw the other day. Man, Andrade gonna be hell for him. Hell for him.
The guy
Now
loses one
beforehand,
fight, and all of a sudden
I
Morrell
would have
beats
said
him.
that Canelo would have beat him.
But
How
guy,
overreact? And Andrade is 35 years of age. The man just got injured and pulled out a fight, and he's people are saying he's washed. Like, what makes
Well,
you think?
let's just say let's
Andre's
just say
crap.
let's just say for
guy,
shits
no
and
sorry,
giggles,
bro.
a healthy Andrade. A healthy Andrade is gonna give
What's a
Canelo the
healthy
business.
Andrade, though? A healthy Andrade that was struggling against Liam Williams, getting wobbled by Liam Williams.
He
What's
got
a
caught
healthy?
like 3 times.
But I
What's a
think
healthy Andrade, bro? I don't know. Andrade.
I think
What's a healthy Andrade, though? That's what I'm saying. What
I
what is
think
he?
Boo Boo can beat him, but Boo Boo has a problem where like he like he just falls asleep during fights. That's how he got caught against Liam Williams. That's how he got dropped against Alantez Fox.
Marky, I agree with you. I agree with you. But the problem is, right? You know, when you're in a ring with a good fighter, it's very difficult to be switched on for 12 rounds, right? It's very difficult, especially Canelo's not just gonna. He's not just gonna be. Remember, Andrade's not Bivol. When Canelo hits Andrade, he's gonna know about it, right? And
I
Andrade,
agree. I
Imran,
agree.
Andrade
I
is
just say
slightly
Imran,
I
full.
just say that the style alone from Andrade is gonna pose some tremendous some hellacious issues for
Oh yeah,
Canelo
I
The
agree
only
for
thing I
about
don't
5
get,
rounds.
the
I
only thing
agree
I
if
for
don't get,
5
Canelo take the
rounds.
fight.
You have to do it for 12 rounds, though, Stephen. Like
no, it
Bivol.
is. You got to realize, yeah, that all these fighters that you're talking about, Andrade, David Benavidez, the list goes on. These guys, they don't fight no one, but then they expect all these fans to say, "Oh, fight you." Let me finish.
But Andrade's
Uh,
been
Bro,
trying to
you're
fight
you're
people.
you're
what I'm
you're a
trying to say, listen,
champion,
let me
bro.
land, man. Let me land. What I'm trying to say is, if you go back and look at Golovkin, for example, Golovkin got the Canelo fight because he fought everyone in his division. He's fighting everyone. You look at other fighters like top fighters that got big fights. They fought everyone in the division. They fought big fights and championship fights. You're talking about guys here like Andrade and that have literally fought no one, and then they're trying to go to press conferences and say, "Oh, I want to fight you, Canelo," and this and that, and the fans are not behind it because you ain't shown enough for the fans to get behind you to say, "You know what? Yeah, you're the man." But and then you expect for the fight, David Benavidez the same. He hasn't fought no one. All of a sudden, he's calling Canelo. I'll beat Canelo. Oh, this and that, whatever. But you haven't gone in there and fought guys and been a champion and unified yourself and said, "Oh, yeah, you know what? He is a guy that can everyone wants to clamor around to make the fight." None of these guys are taking risks. Cal Brooks,
Who did
another one, for example.
Man,
He
who
doesn't
did
fight.
Triple G
At
fight? Hold on, hold on.
fights.
Who did Triple G fight to earn Canelo?
Yeah,
Who
but
did
he
Triple G
clearly
he's
got
fight?
got
he like he's
Derevyanchenko,
unified, mate.
Murata.
He's
You're
unified. He had
forgetting he
3 belts in
No,
that division.
oh, I'm talking about to earn the fight. Like Ash
Yeah.
was saying, like who did he fight before that? I'm not
uh,
talking about
What?
Derevyanchenko. I'm talking about before that. That's so much better than the dudes
Let,
that Andrade has fought. To where
No,
Andrade's not
bro,
close,
he
but
just
Triple G
unified the
no,
deserves it.
division. He
but
went to
let,
Japan.
I'll let you
the
guys answer
thing
that.
with Golovkin though, he did kind of earn it. He was fighting regularly and he was defending his titles well, wasn't he?
I agree
Yeah,
with
but Andrade and Charlo have been champion like for years, bro. Like
They
it's
got
the
one
same
belt, man, and
thing.
they unified. They
D
unified.
Money, D Money. Are you forgetting that Golovkin, unified Murray? He literally went to Japan. That's a lot more than what
No,
Andrade
no,
and
but
Charlo done.
Ash was saying before all of this, like before the Triple G Canelo fight,
Listen,
Triple G was
let me say
fighting,
something.
and so therefore, that he earned Canelo, and then
Hold on.
Andrade and them, they aren't, they're just out there, I don't know, dabbling on the telephone and not doing
Let,
anything, and that's why.
let me just try to clarify for you. Yeah, for you. What I'm trying to say is, Triple G has campaigned at 160 his whole career. At 160, he was the man. He beat everyone. He had most of the belts. If I'm not right, I think he had 3. Right. So he fans were behind him. His fans were saying he is the man. And when Canelo came there, they wanted that fight because he's the main man because he's cleared everyone else out. He's got the belts. You're talking about Andrade, who's fought at 154, has had 1 belt, has not unified no one, has not fought any of the top guys at that weight, and then he wants to fight pound for pound king. For example, this is the example I'm
None of
giving you.
those guys want to fight him. Why hasn't Triple G fought him? Why hasn't Triple G fought Charlo? Those are the only two other people in his division that are champions. If he wanted to be undisputed and fought everybody in the division and cleared out everybody in the division, why
When
ain't he
he
fought
was
them?
when he was fighting at 160, Andrade wasn't there. He was at 154. And Charlo, did you say? I'm not sure if Charlo was there either, or maybe he was. I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, he had the
Yeah, no,
belts. And
I'm
right
saying
now
right
he's
now. You're right,
42.
but I'm saying right now though.
Yeah,
Right
right
now,
now he's 42. He doesn't need. He's at the back end of his career now. He doesn't need to make that point of fighting Charlo. Charlo's in his prime. He needs to fight the champions and other guys besides Golovkin. Why does he want to fight a 40-year-old for?
he could have fought him
But
at any time. Charlo's been
actually
there for
saw
years, man.
Why is he calling out a
Golovkin's.
40-year-old then? Let's just say, forget the times before. Right now, everyone's clamoring, for example, for Canelo. Put Canelo to a side. Golovkin, why are you clamoring to fight a 40-year-old if you're a prime champion and you want to make a good career and show people you're a great fighter?
Well, I actually think Golovkin can still beat him. Like,
Maybe can, yeah, but I'm just giving the point that he's an old man now. He's not the
I don't.
28, 30-year-old man that was knocking everyone out.
Well, I don't think Charlo really cares about the sport of boxing anymore. To be honest with you, that's my opinion, though.
I don't think he ever cared, mate.
You know, he's fighting once a year, and he said in an interview they asked him what he is. He said, "Oh, I'm an actor. I'm a basketball player. I'm this and that."
Who's this?
Charlo.
Charlo.
It's all about the
Yeah.
money, isn't it?
Oh, but yeah, here's the thing though.
He said in a Fight Hype interview.
A lot of people hate Charlo. Like Charlo's a good fighter. I like Charlo. I like Charlo. I've always said I like
too.
Charlo. Energy. I like his brother as well. Jermell's a great fighter. But Jermell over the last couple of years, he's been fighting lower tier competition. He's been fighting fights. Look, I'm excited. Jermell Charlo is fighting Brian Castano, right?
Look,
Jermell Charlo deserves the credit. If he beats Brian Castano, he should be on the pound for pound list, and he gets overlooked. Jermell, right? Jermell is a good fighter, a really good fighter, and his resume proves that. And he's fighting top guys. I don't care if Jermell lost to Tony Harrison because he's fighting top tier opposition. That's what happens when you fight good fighters. You lose a couple of fights here and there, right?
I got male top 5 pound for pound on my list.
Has Andrade done that?
This is what I mean. See, look, I give Jermell Charlo credit because he did what he did at 154. What's Andrade done? Andrade's not done that. People say he's ducking. Surely there must have been opportunities for Andrade somewhere along the line.
Can I say one thing? I don't want to jump in.
Now you guys gotta realize these dudes can't go up to people and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm fighting you. You're a top guy in this division. I'm fighting you." They can't do that, bro.
Put it this way. You know Andrade, right? Let me say one thing, right? Andrade.
You said what, Imran?
How can Jermell get the opportunities then? What's the difference between Jermell and Andrade?
He's on one side of the street, and Andrade was with Eddie Hearn.
Right.
Yeah, but
and Jermell is the man like
that to go
at
with
his
Eddie
division.
Hearn. Whose decision was it to go with Eddie Hearn?
His name Donkey, wasn't it?
Well, that's fair. That's right.
No, that's
You're
fair,
right.
but no, Jermell. The difference for me is Jermell is the man in his weight class. Like he is. If you want to be great in that weight class, you got to see Jermell. It ain't nobody else.
And here's the thing too. I think it was D Money made this point. Man, listen, man, you can't fight somebody who don't want to be fought. You know what I'm saying? Now all this talk about, you know what I'm saying, what has he done? What has he done for me lately? All this stuff, man. Listen, you can't fight somebody who don't want to be fought. Now,
Steve,
I can say that.
Steven,
you're saying basically, no, hold on. You're saying basically top 10 guys. Andrade is number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10 doesn't want to fight him. Number 10, 11, 12 want to fight him. Is that what you're telling me?
Bro, Jaime Munguia is his mandatory, and he don't want to fight him.
He's been his mandatory for 4 years, and he ain't fought him.
But okay, I agree with you guys. Okay, I agree. Yeah, not many people. But Andre's been around.
You can't avoid mandatories, man. You gotta have a mandatory.
He's been around for over 10 years. Surely there would have been opportunities for him to fight somebody.
Imran, he's had multiple opportunities. He's had multiple.
It's not talking about a guy that's been around for 3-4 years. We're talking about a guy that's been champion for over nearly a decade, man.
See what done happened is Andrade done pissed a lot of people off, and rightfully so, because ain't nothing been cracking with him. But it ain't all Andrade's fault that his career is gone.
It's not Andrade's
fault. There's some involvement in.
I agree, Stephen. I agree. What I'm saying is, it's a decade. You know what I mean? We can't just say that nobody wants to fight him. Nobody. It's a decade, man. A decade. That's a long time for be a champion and not to
I'll say
unify.
this: he
Go
ducked
on.
the Lara fight. I'll say that.
He ducked Danny Jacobs too.
Bro, him
Yeah.
and Danny Jacobs are friends, bro. They don't want to fight
Right.
each other.
Danny Jacobs said he
What's
would take
his
the
friend
fight, yeah, and
stuff,
then
man?
Andrade.
You know what
Then Andrade.
Mike Tyson said, if we're friends, we fight each other. We make bread to we make
You make money together.
we make money.
And
What's
who the heck
friend
wants to
stuff?
see Andrade fight Danny Jacobs? Like, if he beats Danny Jacobs, we're gonna be like, oh yeah, Andrade's on the pound for pound list now.
This was like 4 or 5
Like-
years ago when they were both in their prime peak, right? Right. Daniel Jacobs said if the people want the fight, he will take the fight. And then Andrade responded saying he doesn't want to fight him because they're friends. How is that a guy who wants to fight? He also
Bro, he
ducked
didn't want to
Lara.
fight one fight.
You
Like,
know-
okay,
you know when
that means he's not a good fighter now. Now he's a bum. Now he's ducking fights.
He also ducked Lara twice.
To be
He
honest,
ducked
how
Yanabek.
good is Andrade? We don't know. Nobody
Listen.
knows how good
He
Andrade
didn't
is.
duck no Yanabek.
You know when you're
Yes, he
avoiding
did.
fighter and you're saying no one wants to fight you, you take the fights that you don't want to take. You just take them just to get yourself on the map. And or maybe I can't think of any examples right now, but he didn't either do that. So he just expects, oh, he's avoiding me, or I'm not going to fight. I'm just going to say he's avoiding me. Oh, I don't want to fight him, or he's avoiding me. Then what you're going to do? Just sit at home. You got to go out there and, for example, just you go to a different country, fight champion there. I don't know, something
He
different.
been traveling all over the world. That's the only people that will fight him are the people from
How come no one
England.
knows him, man? No one knows him. It's been, like Imran said, it's been nearly a decade as a champion, and all
Man,
the
I
promoters,
just think that I think
all
y'all
the
been
scared of him apparently.
all the
Yeah,
promoters are promoting them.
here's the thing, Makai. Here's the thing. I don't think everybody's scared of him. I'll just say that because of his skill set and the way his style of fighting, I think a lot of people are apprehensive, and it's not the first fight they want to take. Now, now can we absolve him of any wrongdoing? No, he has a lot to do with that because he's a critical part of his own career. So you can't get mad at nobody but yourself when it's not going right. But it hasn't been. I think we got to start being. We got to be fair about this. It ain't just Andrade. It's the people not wanting to fight him too.
And to add to Stephen's point, this is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. Is Eddie Hearn came out and said, this is a fact, came out and said, I have tried my very best to get Andrade a top fight with one of these top guys, and I cannot get it done. They don't want to fight him. I can't make it happen. That's it. He said, his own promoter said it, and that's Eddie Hearn, who's been making nothing but fights happen.
And Benavidez promoter said, we want $7 million to fight Andrade. Okay.
All I'm gonna say is this:
said.
these people are fight. Golovkin is one of the beasts around that weight at that time, and somehow people are getting in the ring with him. And if I was a fighter, I'd rather get in the ring with Andrade. So if people he's fine to fight, getting fighters, I'm just surprised to find out that this guy is in America and he can't get fights when Golovkin was at that time was very feared as the middleweight. No one really wanted to get in there with him because he would just fucking knock you out. And he used to getting big fights, so I'm just putting that out there. That
I feel that, Ash, but like I said, all that is like hypothetical, like like how
it's all fact really, because
and then this and that, but like Andrade's factual promoter said that he's tried to get Andrade these fights and he has. So the biggest reason why that would just support what me and Steven and
well, I've not seen this interview, so I can't really comment on that.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, but
let me tell Makai, one sec, Makai. I'll tell you a guy that won't duck Demetrius Andrade, but I don't know whether Demetrius Andrade would have the balls to fight him. Arthur Beterbiev. Go to 175 and go on Arthur Beterbiev and see.
Man, are you crazy? You think he's never going to do that? Would have fight Golovkin? Forget fucking.
With Canelo, if Andrade is that good, I'm pretty sure Beterbiev would have no problem fighting Andrade, right? If And's that good, right? Go and fight.
Won't Beterbiev go down to 168 then? Why you go down 168?
Andrade won't even fight Yanabek.
Andrade needs to go up and make
Hang on a minute.
hang on a minute. Canelo goes up 175 and fights Bivol. He loses and gets stick. Now I'm proposing a deal. Everyone's saying Andrade would beat Canelo, right?
Well, that was
So
Canelo's that.
I think
But
people
that was
forget.
Canelo's choice.
I think people
That was
forget that
Canelo's
Andrade
choice.
is actually bigger than Bivol too. Andrade's actually bigger than Bivol. The guy cuts a lower weight to make 160. He's a weight bully. Like Bivol. People act like Bivol's
Andrade would beat Beterbiev.
But I'm not calling for Andrade to fight Beterbiev anyway.
For the hypothetical,
that's
Imran,
just,
what did you say? Beterbiev, Bivol will beat him.
Hey,
Bivol will beat him.
do you think so? I don't know.
I think so.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
That's my opinion.
But check it out. But check it out though. You saying though. Let's go back to this, Makai and Imran. Let's go back to this. You said that Canelo went up to 175, but that was Canelo's choice. Canelo was he was the face of boxing. Everybody knows this. He could do what the fuck he wanted to do anytime, and that was his choice. Okay, it's not Andrade's. You can't say that Andrade should do it. You know what I'm saying? It was the choice of Canelo to have done that.
Do it. I'm not saying he should do it. I'm saying he can't get a fight. He can't get a fight. So what do you want him to do? Just sit around and fight nobodies for the rest of his career, or challenge himself against somebody and dare to be great?
No, yeah. I think he challenged himself because Imran,
he becomes a king.
He's moving up.
That ain't 175 and beats Beterbiev. He becomes a king.
Oh, he ain't doing that. That would be a terrible decision. You're gonna get knocked out. But what I'm saying is he's trying to fight David Benavidez. He moved up from 160. He took everybody in this panel's advice. He said, I'm wasting my time. He moved up to 168 and he's trying to fight Benavidez.
He'll beat
he getting rid of Eddie Hearn. Did y'all hear about that? He getting rid of Eddie Hearn too.
Yeah.
I like Demetrius.
No. Demetrius will beat David Benavidez. Demetrius will beat David Benavidez.
He's chasing greatness, my guy.
The guy's chasing greatness. Try Teddy to resume that.
He'll beat Benavidez, no doubt.
If he beats Benavidez, Imran, then will this panel say that he's beating somebody, he's actually good?
I don't know if he beat Benavidez.
I said if.
I just said to you that he'll beat him. I don't rate Benavidez. I think, if he beats Benavidez, I'll give Andrade credit for that. Sure.
I would have gave
Imran, why don't you like David? Why don't you like Benavidez, man?
I think he's flawed, man. I think he's a flawed fighter. I'm telling you. When he comes up against a good boxer like Andrade, he's gonna get his head boxed in. I'm telling you, the guy's got terrible feet. But I don't know what you guys see. I think he's got terrible feet. Like the guy's got his feet stuck in the mud.
Yeah, everyone seems to be hyping up these guys.
And I don't even think he's got a great chin, by the way. I've seen him drop by a jab.
How old is he? 24.
I'll be serious. And he's fighting at a weight class. He's killing himself to make weight. He's drained, right? He's weak. Andrade will bust him up. I won't even be surprised if Andrade busts him up and stops him. Like I'm telling you, outclass him and make him look like an amateur. Well, I'm telling you, Benavidez ain't top tier, man. He ain't top tier fighter. I think.
I don't know about that, man. I just think David Benavidez, he's the real deal, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't.
Andrade, no chance.
He's the best person at 168 outside of, if you want to say, Canelo. So Canelo going up and becoming undisputed at 168 and then not fighting the best person at 168. What is that about? But yeah, he's the best known person.
At least Canelo.
He did fight Bivol. I mean, I think Bivol's better than Benavidez.
I mean, Canelo at least he's challenging himself. We want to see these guys jump up weight classes as well.
We didn't want to see Canelo. I personally did not want to see him go up to 175. I wasn't like, man, he's ducking Bivol. Canelo's not a 175 pounder.
A lot of people wanted him to go to 175.
Everybody convinced themselves that Canelo can fight in campaign at 175. He was never, ever a 175er. He was never a light heavyweight.
He wasn't. I thought it was a bad idea him going up to fight Bivol.
So fight the people at 168. Fight the best people at 168. Fight the best people at 160 that you were supposed to fight a long time ago. Fight them.
Yeah, you should have. In my opinion, D Money, man, this is my opinion, man. I think once you win a belt, I think they should even make this in at the clause. Once you win a belt, they should make it. They should make you defend your belt at least one time. At least one time.
I've never known a guy to get hate for taking the tougher fight. Like he literally took the tougher fight, but now you guys saying, oh, he should have just fought Benavidez, he should have fought Charlo.
Because what was the point of it? What was the point of it, Makai? Like Makai. Go ahead, Makai. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Oh no, I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure it's proven that Bivol is the better fighter than guys like Charlo, Benavidez, especially Andrade.
Yeah,
but you know what? But you know what though, Makai? A lot of people didn't know about
Benavidez. Like to me, like Beterbiev is better than Benavidez. Do I want Andrade to climb up another weight class to go fight Beterbiev if that's on the table? Am I like calling for that? No,
I don't want to see that either.
That's what I'm saying though. So the same thing for Canelo.
And Makai, here's another thing too, man. A lot of people didn't know, man. And a lot of other fighters, man, because I watched the Mayweather boxing channel because I like it because it's humorous, and they asked, and this is on Fight Hype too, and they asked nothing but fighters. It had to be at least 20, 30 fighters, and everybody picked Canelo to win that fight because nobody knew about Dietary. So you could only assume that Canelo and them didn't know that much about Dietary either. Just like where did they get that macabre shit? Where did that macabre shit come from? They came out the blue.
Yeah, that shit was, you can't just say because.
Never mind macabre. Even Usyk came into the conversation.
It's just ridiculous shit. It got out of hand, man.
Canelo just has a big ego. He thinks obviously. This has been. I think Canelo's got a big wake up call now because he's realized that he can't beat these guys. He's even turned a bit one-dimensional. Like he's turned a bit arrogant in his fights, so he just thinks he can just come forward, use his strength and his power to beat them. And he found out very quickly he can't do that now. He's been doing his last 4 fights. He kind of thought he was just invincible. He was never like picking an easy fight or anything. He generally thought he literally thought he could beat Usyk. I don't know if it's actually true or not because Eddie said it, but the guy was clearly, becoming a little bit delusional.
Yeah, and I feel what you're saying, Makai. I see what you're saying, like Bivol, him picking Bivol or picking that package that they offered him. But the issue that we're having is, Makai, is that you need to handle your business on your side of the street and then go up if you want to challenge yourself. Prove that everybody beneath you in your weight class is not a challenge to you. Then go up and challenge yourself. Don't keep not fighting the people that people say that can pose a challenge to you or are calling you out, and then try to give yourself these different challenges at different weights. Like, fight the people in front of you, bro, in your weight class where you are a champion. Fight them.
But the thing is, though, when the Canelo Charlo fight,
and that's what I'm saying, and that's why I'm saying, once you win a belt, once you grab that belt, they should have it. Does everybody agree? Does everybody think this is sensible? Once you win a belt, once you grab that belt, you should defend your title at least one time. That'll stop all this talk. That'll stop all this moving up and down.
Oh no, man! But like as I was saying, with the obviously he had the PBC or the zone deal. Obviously, Charlo was going to be his first fight. Did you not see what people were saying when people thought he was going to be fighting Charlo? The guy got no credit for that. People were calling it a cherry pick and everything because of what happened in Charlo's last fight with Montiel. I never saw anyone give him credit for that. I thought he was going to beat Charlo. I don't know how you didn't see that. The guy was not getting credit.
Well, people were calling Canelo a cherry for picking the PBC deal.
The people calling Charlo a cherry pick. Yeah, I'm being serious. Imran, you must have seen stuff
like
that.
Charlo was saying about Charlo because Charlo was coming up.
Thank you. Exactly.
Were they saying that because he's coming off of his worst performance that's why Canelo's picking him now, or were they calling Charlo a cherry? Because I feel like anybody that calls Charlo a cherry pick is kind of silly.
Why are people calling Bivol a cherry pick though? Bivol was clearly the better fighter.
They're calling
nobody knew about Bivol though.
Yeah, because
Nobody knew about him.
nobody knew about him. Right.
Are you not right? Literally before Canelo, you know, that the bell got announced, you know, people were just saying, oh, you know, Canelo's gonna walk through this guy, he's a cherry pick, he's ducking Benavidez. I mean, everyone was calling Bivol a cherry pick. You know, I don't think anyone can actually get happy with who Canelo fights. I think we just need to appreciate that he fought Bivol. I mean, I don't get why people are crying.
I think people just wanted him to fight Beterbiev because I think everybody considered Beterbiev to be the best light heavyweight in the world.
Yeah.
And nobody really knew Bivol.
Imran, you go.
Yeah, basically what I was gonna say is I was gonna, reply to you, Deep, when you made a point earlier about saying Benavidez is the best 168 pounder apart from Canelo. But on what basis, though? On what basis are we saying Benavidez is the best 168 pounder when like Callum Smith, Ring Magazine #1, when Canelo fought him, he had the better win in George Groves, right? Over Benavidez. Benavidez is beating nobody at 168. So what are we basing that off then? What are we basing Benavidez being the best at 168 off?
You got to remember, Imran, he was a champion at 168. He lost his belt on a scale. If Canelo would have went for Undisputed, he would have fought him. And so where you put him in those champions, like where you put him, like where would you rank him between the Callum Smiths and the Caleb Plant? Like to me, he beats Callum Smith. He beats Caleb Plant. He beats Billy Joe. So therefore, to me, that's why he would have been number one at 168.
Caleb Plant. I don't. I think
I
don't think Benavidez. I'm telling you guys now, as soon as this guy fights one good fighter, you will see this man exposed.
Wait till he actually moves. Wait till he is.
You guys said Canelo's got poor feet, right? Benavidez ain't got no feet. He ain't got no feet, man.
I agree.
What you gonna say, Imran, if he beat once he beat David Lemieux?
What am I gonna say of beating a washed up?
What, Steven? You think that's a good fight? that's a terrible.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say nothing.
What can he do? Well, okay, let me rephrase that. What can he do to appease you? What's it gonna take?
Fight Caleb Plant.
Caleb Plant don't want to fight that man, bro. Like
you crazy.
Man, they came out with lies about Caleb Plant. They said he turned down the fight when Benavidez is still in camp. That don't make no sense. How you negotiating for another fight and you still in camp?
Personally, with Benavidez at 168, I think he does really. I think he destroys Plant. I mean, Plant's got no power. I think he beats guys like Andrade. But my problem with Benavidez is that obviously he has to cut a lot of weight to get to 168. When he actually goes into his proper weight class at 175, he is going to get destroyed. I mean, imagine him versus Beterbiev. You can't tell me Benavidez wins that fight.
Ronald,
sorry, man. I'm sorry. Benavidez for me don't beat anybody that can box or move. He's not got no feet. If you ain't got no feet, you can't win boxing, man. You can't win boxing.
Imran, you said earlier you said that David Lemieux is still dangerous. That's what you said earlier today. But then when I bring him up, then everybody laugh at me.
No. Here's the thing. If his power translates to remember David Lemieux's a middleweight. If his power translates to super middleweight, Benavidez is in trouble, right? Because Benavidez has got slow feet, and Benavidez is going to trade with Lemieux. As soon as Lemieux hits his chin, right? I don't know anything can happen because Lemieux's massive puncher. He's a huge puncher. If you look at the guys that beat David Lemieux were really good boxers like Golovkin, Billy Joe, guys that he couldn't get near. I don't know whether Lemieux's got that. I mean, Benavidez has got that kind of skill. Benavidez just got fast hands. That's it. That's all I see. I don't see no special effects, just fast hands. He can't move. He's not very fast. So let's see, man. Let's see. But I don't think he beats anybody that can box and move.
I think he beats Caleb Plant, but that's because Caleb Plant, like, he doesn't have a gas tank. Like, you see in his fight against what's the name of the dude he beat for the title? He gasses out late.
Yeah, Caleb Plant's just like another version of Andrade, really.
Yeah.
And that's the disrespect statement coming from Makai. That's from Makai.
That's generous. That's generous coming from me.
No, but here's the thing. Caleb Plant is a good fighter. Caleb Plant can really fight. I don't know why people I don't know. I don't understand, like if Caleb Plant and Andrade fought, that'd be a good fight. That'd be a really good fight.
You think so, Emra? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
What you
Caleb Plant, he can scrap, man. He can box, man.
No, yeah, he's crafty, but it's too much. It's too much of that crafty soft stuff. He don't have no power or no, and his defense is overrated. That's my problem. Like you can hit Caleb Plant, like he'll be moving around and Philly shelling, but at the end of the day, you gonna hit him. And
Caleb Plant, you know what, man? Caleb Plant, his only deal is Caleb Plant. He's unsure of himself. Just like he was outboxing Canelo. He was he was doing very well with Canelo. And then what happens is he started to ask Canelo, how am I doing? And I'm pretty good, and this, that, and the third. And Canelo's like, what? Nigga, he was like, are you crazy? You crazy? And he knocked him, he ended up getting knocked out. So, Caleb Plant got some self-imposed limitations. But other than that, he can scrap, man. He ain't no sucker.
All I was saying was that I think Benavidez, I think he, like I said, and Emra, did you agree that he beats Billy Joe and Callum Smith and Caleb Plant and them?
What was that? Sorry.
Did you say that David Benavidez beats Callum Smith and Caleb Plant and Billy Joe?
Billy Joe beats Caleb Plant, and Joe beats.
Would David Benavidez beat them?
Would David Benavidez beat Billy Joe and Caleb Plant?
And Callum Smith.
Tough fight. I think Saunders is a good fight as well, because Saunders can box, and Saunders beat the crap out of Lemieux.
Nah, Saunders is very unathletic, man. He get gassed. I think Benavidez would beat guys like Plant. So I think he beats Callum Smith too, but that is a very dangerous fight for him. I mean, especially now. I mean, he's moved up to 175. The guy can't even make that weight anymore.
So that's all I wanted to see with Canelo, because to me, Canelo kept moving up in these weight classes, beating people that we expect him to beat. And then, there's the guy in the division that, people are like, I don't know if you'd win that one. That might be tricky for you. That guy can really fight. And then he doesn't fight them and just moves up a weight class. And it's like, man.
I've just got to answer this question. Bro says, which British fighters beat Canelo? I would say Brook, Groves, and Froch throughout their different stages. Bro, I don't know what you're smoking, right? But Kell Brook doesn't beat Canelo Alvarez, right? He goes that instead he fights Khan, Billy Joe, and the Smith brothers cherry pick. Okay, Brook has no chance against Canelo. Groves has no chance against Canelo. And Froch would have no chance against Canelo. Neither of those guys have the ability or the.
Carl Froch was a gangster.
Who?
Carl Froch.
Yeah, he was. Froch was a good fighter, but he didn't have the feet or the boxing ability to deal with Canelo.
Joe Calzaghe would beat Canelo.
That would be a good fight.
Yeah, definitely beats
Joe
Canelo.
Joe Calzaghe, he'll kill Canelo, man.
Okay, that Canelo that got gassed against Bivol. Could you imagine Joe Calzaghe's pace against that version of Canelo that just fought? He would have killed Canelo. He would have stopped him.
At 168, that's a good fight. At 175, that's different. 168, that's a good fight. Canelo Calzaghe.
At whichever, at 168, 175, Joe Calzaghe, he gonna murder Canelo.
Okay, that dude could throw 1,000 punches in a fight and come out like not even breathing hard.
Different.
Guys, do you think
Imran?
Imran,
man, it's a good fight. I would have looked. That would have been that's a proper fight.
Imran, you feel like Canelo's just getting a bunch of disrespect, after this fight? Bivol's just like taking the respect off Canelo's name or something.
Yes, man. I wasn't expecting this response, but like, if these same people that are saying this, if Canelo goes and beats him in the rematch, then what? Then we're gonna say Bivol was overrated.
I'll give him his respect.
But my only problem in this is that he loses to Bivol and now Andrade beats him. What? How on earth can you get Canelo losing to Bivol and you think all of a sudden Andrade beats him out? I mean,
well, I've always said Andrade would beat him.
They They fight very
Yeah,
different.
Makai. Yeah, Makai. I think the people that say that Andrade would beat him, they've always thought Andrade would beat him.
Man,
Andrade
Yeah,
has
because
slick feet.
I don't know what you guys see in them. Honestly, I don't know what you guys see in Andrade.
Andrade has slick feet. He throws punches from awkward angles.
Yeah, the worst technique I've ever seen. Yeah.
No, I agree, but he can't do it for 12 rounds, man. Canelo's a monster in there. You can't outbox him for 12 rounds. You have to be very technical and you have to be switched on for 12 rounds. Bivol was switched on. Bivol has a different style. Andrade doesn't have
Imran, Makai, man. Andrade, he will have Canelo so confused and so befuddled that it wouldn't even be funny.
Nah,
man, he's gonna have a hard time.
Talking crazy,
but do you think Andrade can even win a decision against Canelo?
It won't get to a decision.
Don't say he'd knock Canelo out. There's no chance.
No. I'm saying, do you think the judges would give Andrade a decision?
Nah, they ain't gonna get down. They ain't gonna give him. They ain't gonna give him to. Nah,
comfortably. But I don't think it goes the distance. I think Canelo would hurt him somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
12 rounds. He has to go 12 rounds. You know, Bivol's big. Remember, Bivol's a big guy. Andrade's a 150.
Man,
I think Andrade could weather those storms. I really think Andrade could weather the storm.
I don't.
And we just seen Canelo put on a performance that was fit for a pig. I mean, Canelo. I mean, you know, and I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but Canelo looked like he didn't belong in that ring.
But Andrade's not Bivol. Andrade's not Bivol. It's two different men. It's like comparing.
Andrade
like comparing a fully male lion to a kid lion. You know.
See, this one. This. Here you go. I'm telling you now, Andrade's gonna pose some. Listen, if Caleb Plant lasted that long with Canelo, Andrade's gonna beat Canelo. He's gonna beat him.
Right. I'm just saying this here.
He's not strong enough, Stephen. He hasn't got the chin and all of that. Bivol had the chin. Bivol has he has a lot of things that Andrade doesn't have. He has a gas tank. That's another thing questionable about Andrade. If Andrade would be right when
they both ain't got no gas tank.
You know, I want to answer D Money because D Money said that Salman picked Canelo to knock Bivol out. You know, my brother picked Saunders to beat Canelo. You know that, right?
I'm like confused. No, I wasn't even watching your channel when that happened, so I'm like confused now.
My brother had Saunders winning that fight, and after Canelo dealt with Saunders, he was like, because he thought that style was all wrong for Canelo. So after Canelo dealt with Billy Joe Saunders, he thought that this guy's now unstoppable, and he realized that Canelo's he's taking his game to another level. When he that's why when he fought Bivol, he was like, nah, you know, Bivol ain't beating Canelo. Yeah, like he goes, I'd have to see someone beat Canelo to see it. Now he's seen it. He's like, yeah, you know what? Canelo still has trouble with this style, and Bivol was a lot better than what I gave him credit for.
But Imran, why didn't people see this coming? Did they not watch Bivol against Joe Smith Jr.? Like, and even the professional fighters, I'm really surprised somebody as experienced as Bernard Hopkins saying that Canelo would destroy Beterbiev and Bivol. It's crazy.
He said he mashed him like potatoes.
I think Stephen made a great point, and Stephen said that we started putting Canelo like he was God. Do you know what I mean? Like he can't be beat. But like I said, there's no such thing as a invincible fighter. Canelo came close to being invincible in the sense that people had a perception that this guy, you can't beat him. You can't beat him at this point. And then the fact that Canelo gets decisions that are close as well go in his favor. We thought, that no one's gonna come close to beating this guy. But now the camel's back's been broken, and the decision went against Canelo. And now Canelo seems more vulnerable, more beatable. And also now the decisions in the future may go against Canelo. Do you understand? Because they've set the precedent now. These judges have set the precedent, right? Because they've gone against him.
But you gotta still respect. You gotta still respect Canelo, man. I mean, he took a challenge, and I mean, when you go back and like Gennady Golovkin, he stayed at 160. He should have fought Andre Ward. and stuff like that. But you still got to rate Canelo. What do you think?
The only thing, my issue with that is that I think who is it? Steven has said that Canelo took the deal. You know what I'm saying? He had the PBC deal, which was Charlo and Benavidez or Spence, or he had the zone deal, which was Bivol or Triple G. And you had to make a decision between one of those two. And to Canelo, from his performance and how he came prepared, it seemed like he thought the DAZN deal was going to be sweet. Bivol, he is another European fighter. He has like 6 unanimous decisions in a row. He isn't that big of a light heavyweight. He does a lot of movement. So Canelo, to me, it just seemed like Canelo, he just thought like, okay, like Bivol, he doesn't have enough power. He just moves around. Like, I'm gonna walk this dude down and I'm gonna get him out of here. I feel like a lot of people thought that. And then
a lot of people thought that. Yeah, you're right because
you had to study Bivol.
Because see, where this nonsense about Makabu come out of? Well, Canelo was doing a lot of out of bounds crazy shit, man, with his fight selection, like with the Abney Yildirim fight. Some of these fights, man, that he was involved in, I was like, man, come on, Canelo, you can do a little bit better than that. And then when he came and Imran no, and Ahmed no, and Ash no, and Makai no. That when he came with that Makabu, when he came with that shit, man, I was like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah,
what is going on?
I think Don King whispered in his ear.
Don King, he might have, man, because I was like, man,
anyone was happy with that fight.
But I'm now I'm starting to think like, that probably would have been the best avenue for him. Because see, if he would have went up to Cruiser, then and now I don't even think he would have beat. Now, do y'all think he would have beat Makabu?
I don't know, Steven. The weight difference is so much. We don't know what could happen in a fight like that. Remember, this is boxing. You're going up against a guy that's so much bigger than you. I don't know. Maybe Makabu might have been able to grab a hold of Canelo and just maybe output. We don't know. Makabu's not a great fighter by any stretch, but the point is he's so much bigger. He's so much stronger, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with Canelo, he's got such a good chin. Even Bivol didn't really put a dent in him in terms of hurting him or putting him down. So I don't know. Could Makabu knock Canelo out? He's so much bigger. I don't know.
No.
These are things that we don't know because the size difference is so big.
Imran,
Such difference that anything's possible. It's almost like fighting a guy that's like 30 pounds bigger than you. It's dangerous.
So I think Brady should have knocked Canelo out. Brady's.
Yeah, that's a good fight as well, man. That would have been a dangerous fight.
That's a tough fight. But Makabu, no way. You can't just be big and unskillful. And just because you're big, you're gonna get Canelo out of there because Canelo has a chin. Like Canelo, you're not gonna hit Canelo and make him like, oh, now he's backing up or he's about to fall down. Like,
I didn't like that fight.
Take Canelo?
That was a terrible fight.
It was a terrible fight.
The terrible fight in the sense that Makabu was a nobody. I don't think anybody wanted to see that fight. It was a terrible, horrible matchup.
Like where did it come from? Like where did it come from?
It fell apart. Oh, you know what, Steven? It came from Canelo. He requested it. If you look in the search bar, you look it up. He requested it. He wanted that fight, and the networks were like, "Bro, we're not paying you $10 million to go fight Makabu. We can't keep doing this."
I think he just wanted to have 5 division champion attached to his name to be like Floyd.
Nah, that was going about the wrong way.
No, but it's different. It's different. Floyd came from smaller weight classes, so Floyd moving up 5 weight classes is a lot easier. When you're jumping up from like 154 to cruiserweight, that's not. You can't beat anybody good. You can't beat someone good in the cruiserweight.
So what's the point of it? What's the point of it all if you ain't beat nobody really to validate yourself? If you ain't got your
just a cherry pick. That's all it was.
Well, I think Makabu being like Imran said, 200 pounds, like knocking out somebody or beating somebody, he probably would have stopped him. at 200 pounds, like they would have been singing Canelo's praises, like, because he's a middleweight or a super middleweight going up
You
to
know what happened,
cruiserweight
D Money?
and knocking
You know
somebody
you,
out. That'd be nuts.
you know what happened, D Money?
What
They
happened?
did the math. They did the math on it. They did all the calculations, and their worst case projections indicated that if he was to lose that fight with Makabu, it'll be real bad for him. Now one could argue now he's in a worst case scenario. Now I think if he did get beat by Makabu, I think that he would have had more to work with. He could have went back down to 168. I mean, 168 or 175 and try to fight like Joe Smith. But I think Joe Smith gonna give him an issue. Canelo just too small for 175.
Imran,
Joe Smith's a big puncher, man. He's a big puncher, Joe Smith.
Is he done with 175? Imran, is Canelo officially done with 175? Is he over it?
I don't think he is. I think he's going to fight him. Well, Eddie Hearn said that they're expecting him to fight Bivol in September at 175.
If he beats Bivol, is he going to try to campaign it there again?
I wouldn't advise it against Beterbiev. That guy's a problem. He has a horrible style. Bivol's style isn't, even though it's problematic for Canelo, it's nowhere near how problematic Beterbiev is.
Yeah, Beterbiev. Well, I don't know, because I think, who was it, Steven, that said that he thought that Canelo had a better chance at beating Beterbiev than beating Bivol?
Not for me. I think he has a better chance of beating Bivol than he does having Beterbiev, because Beterbiev is like Golovkin in a bigger form.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, D Money, I'm gonna take that back, and I'm gonna say that I don't think Canelo has a good chance at beating either one of those guys.
No, but
just stay away. Just
beating Bivol than Beterbiev, right?
He ain't got no chance of beating either one of them.
Okay, I get that, but who would you give him zero chance against out of those two?
Zero chance, probably.
I'd say Bivol.
I don't know, the toss-up, probably Bivol.
Who's the tougher fight stylistically, Beterbiev or Bivol?
I think Bivol is a tougher fight for him stylistically.
Do you reckon?
I think Beterbiev could get Canelo out of there and inside.
Yeah, I think Beterbiev might even stop him.
But don't. Yeah, I think he would too. I think so too, Makai. I think he'll get him out of there too. But I'm just saying, I think if you asking me about this, who presents a bigger challenge stylistically, I think Bivol does.
Right, because Beterbiev, he's gonna box you, but he's looking to come forward, man. He's trying to walk.
He's gonna get you up there.
Yeah, but the thing with Beterbiev though, he will be open to some counters as well. Whereas Bivol's closed up, man. He'll outpoint you.
Beterbiev. If Canelo can't hurt Beterbiev, oh my goodness, he's in big trouble.
Enormous.
Well, I think that cut on Beterbiev's head, I think that's going to be a problem for him for the rest of his career, in my opinion.
And he
that cut on his forehead.
What's going to be a problem?
The cut on his forehead, that big cut that he had all the way from the top of his head all the way down to his nose.
He had
he had in his last fight.
Oh yeah, with
you got a cut. I don't know if it was that big of it. Was it that big of a cut?
Yeah,
it was a huge cut.
Big cut.
It basically happens every time Marcus Brown fights. The guy just headbutts you. He cheats, and he tried doing it with Beterbiev.
No, but he's a southpaw. It happens.
You mean Beterbiev had a cut? I was like, Canelo had a cut. What are you talking about?
No, Beterbiev.
Yeah.
It didn't bother Beterbiev after he got told that the fight might get stopped. He literally ran at Marcus Brown and went for it. And he was just being the living crap out of him for like the next 4 rounds.
You can't say Marcus Brown don't have a chin after that.
Oh no, Marcus Brown, he's tough, man. He's tough. It took Beterbiev like 10 rounds, I think. Like Brown was still in there. I mean, he wasn't really throwing, but like
Brown.
He was tough, man.
Brown's tough. Don't get me wrong, but he kind of. I wouldn't want to say he quit, but I think he realized he went down. He didn't want no more. Do you know what I mean? Because. He knew that he was taking a hellacious beating in there against him, but
because he couldn't find no room, he couldn't find no space.
Wow.
Like his feet wasn't getting him away. His jab wasn't giving him space. Like the pressure was just too much. So it don't make no sense.
What am I saying? That's what I'm saying about Canelo.
He was in there with a killer.
If
he was in there with a killer.
This is when Steven's saying Bivol stylistically is a tougher fight. This is why I don't agree, because I think Beterbiev would drown him. I think Beterbiev would take the
I agree.
and drown him. You know what I mean? He's like, and remember, Bivol's not a big puncher like Beterbiev. Beterbiev's hurting you with every clubber.
Yeah, but like I said before the fire, Bivol's got great feet, and his feet could get him out of trouble against Beterbiev.
But how? How? Because Beterbiev will find a way to cut you down, and when he hits you, Beterbiev hits harder than Canelo.
Yeah, you know, it's a 50-50 fight, I think.
Yeah, this was one thing. This was one thing that has surprised me in the. Go ahead, Imran. My bad. Go ahead.
I just favor Beterbiev in that fight against Bivol. I just think Beterbiev is too strong. He's too strong. Unless Bivol can hurt him, he can't win that fight. You can't go 12 rounds with that guy.
He's gonna have to be. You're gonna have to be on his bike for sure.
Yeah, but the problem is D Money, right? Beterbiev cuts off the ring. If you look at the way Beterbiev is like Golovkin, he cuts off the ring, he doesn't breathe, and then he gets close, and then his sheer presence in front of you for 12 rounds. You know, that's very mentally draining. He drained you. Golovkin used to drain people just mentally being in front of them, you know, and then you know that he's powerful.
But Imran
slowly slapped your energy and then took you out.
Imran, but Golovkin should have challenged himself and fought Andre Ward. I think Andre Ward would have took him to school, you know.
Oh no. Again, let me stylistically, Golovkin would have been a nightmare for Ward as well.
No, I think Ward would have.
The only look, right? Golovkin had a good jab, very good jab, right? And Golovkin would have put a lot of pressure on Andre Ward. Andre Ward might have neutralized him by hugging him and grabbing him, and you know, Andre Ward was very good at spoiling things. You know, he could hug and neutralize guys that way. He was very good at that. So, and if he didn't do that against Golovkin and try to and not grab a hold and stuff, it would be a very tough fight. It would be a messy fight. But remember, Andre Ward never fought anybody as technically as good as Golovkin. Golovkin was a very technically sound fighter. He was a very skilled pressure fighter. Those fighters are very hard to beat. He never fought anybody at 168 that had that kind of skill level, that kind of pressure fighting ability. In my opinion, they were limited fighters at 168. You know,
I just think Canelo and Golovkin, if they jumped up to 168 at that time, Andre would have beaten both.
I think Ward would have had a great chance against Canelo, but against Golovkin, I think that would have been, because Golovkin's a very skilled pressure fighter.
Andre Ward's big and he's got size and he can take the shots, and he's elusive as well. And
you know, see what I'm saying? Stylistically, Golovkin's a very tough fight. Stylistically, Golovkin's not an easy fight for Andre Ward. He'd have to grab a hold. When he gets close, he'd have to grab a hold. Ward hasn't got the power to keep Golovkin off.
Ward's got great movement.
Big, but can he hurt Golovkin? The answer is no.
He hurt Chad Dawson, Kovalev. Roach was in trouble, you know.
Golovkin, let's put it out there. Golovkin's got the best chin I've ever seen. Right? He ain't hurting Golovkin.
Yeah, he got the best. He got the best chin. But out of everybody we talked about, Chad Dawson was really skilled, and Andre Ward beat him. I don't know that anybody beats.
Chad
made him quit.
Chad Dawson, was he? Was Chad Dawson the same Chad Dawson?
I think Andre Ward was the first person to beat Chad Dawson.
But what didn't Chad Dawson get? Wasn't Chad Dawson coming down?
Yeah, he was, man.
Oh, that's true.
So that's why I'm saying Chad Dawson wasn't that Chad Dawson, right? This is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Chad Dawson was coming down.
Then he went up and got slacked by Adonis Stevenson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm trying to say. I'm not taking away. Ward was a good fighter, but the competition at 168 at that time wasn't like Golovkin would have beaten everybody Ward beat.
No, right? I don't think so.
Nah. Ward didn't want to fight Golovkin.
Who beats Golovkin at 168?
Ward was calling out Golovkin.
Wow.
Steven, who beats Golovkin at 168, you reckon? Who do you think?
I don't know,
and you're
man.
A big fan of Golovkin, and you're a big fan of Golovkin.
So I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
but I'm just saying, Andre Ward back then, him winning the Super Six tournament, all that, Andre Ward is to be he's to be saluted and respected.
No, Ward's a good. No. I'm asking. I'm not saying Ward's a good fighter. Definitely. What I'm saying is, who that Ward would beat Golovkin in your opinion?
There would be Golovkin.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I
But
don't know. I know for sure. I know Chad would have. I know Chad would have schooled Golovkin, and I love Golovkin.
So
You know,
the one that came down, the one that was slightly drained. He wasn't at his peak. He wasn't at his peak optimum weight class.
I think Chad Dawson, man, for the moment in time, Chad Dawson was one of the hottest things smoking in all of
I agree.
boxing.
At his weight, at his best. I don't think he was at his
Hmm.
best when he fought Ward. That's what I'm saying. At his best, yes, but he
Well, I'm
wasn't at his
saying,
best.
what I'm saying essentially is this: that like a even less than optimal Chad Dawson was an incredible feat. And then you gotta give it this, for Andre Ward to come back and redeem himself with Kovalev when that was the crusher.
Yeah,
That was the
that was a
crush.
good. That was definitely a good win.
Andre Ward, man, for some reason he ain't get no respect, but he get he
I
get he get mad respect from me.
I think Andre
me
Ward was a
too.
great fight. I think the competition unfortunately just wasn't there for him. He didn't have many great fighters, unfortunately, in his era, which is nothing he can do about. There's many fighters that unfortunately that happens with. Look at Naseem Hamed. Naseem Hamed was another one that really Naseem Hamed never really fought anybody, man. And then he fought Barrera, was the only real top name he got in the ring with, and he got quite soundly beaten. You,
But
you,
but
you
see,
Man,
but see, but Naseem Hamed, man, to me, his contribution to boxing ain't that he was a world beater. He was to me, he ushered in the new wave of how to go about the showmanship in boxing and self promotion
mhm.
and showboating. That's what Naseem
and
Hamed brought in. It wasn't that
and
he
he
was a. Go ahead.
and I was gonna add to that, and he put little guys on pay-per-view.
yeah, he did, yeah, he did, yeah. But I
Hmm.
don't want the point I was trying to make. I don't think Naseem Hamed. Steven's right what he said about Naseem. I don't think Hamed was. I think Steven made a perfect point that it's not so much he was a world beat, was an entertainer, and like you said, Marky, he put the little guys on the map really, you know. But I don't really think he. I don't think he was as good as what people made him out to be. Do you know what I mean? I felt like if he had fought more top level guys, he would have got beaten by more top level guys. But his level of competition was fairly poor. Andre Ward was better than Naseem Hamed. He was more skilled. He was more fundamentally sound. He was a better fighter. But Ward also didn't really have the competition. Hence why Ward didn't really become a superstar, right? Ward was a great fighter, but he never became a
Ward
superstar.
Ward didn't become a superstar because he wasn't the showman, and he wasn't
Yeah.
the walking show that Naseem Hamed was, or Floyd Mayweather was, or any of those guys. That's what separates them. It wasn't I don't think it was the skill and everything, because he had the skill. He just didn't have that flamboyancy. He wasn't like Ric Flair. He wasn't like Naseem Hamed. He wasn't like Floyd Mayweather, in the sense that when you got two shows, you got the boxing match, and then you got the press conferences to look forward to. All that plays into your psyche of how you evaluate a boxer overall, a fighter overall, and he did lack that. He got on there talking about God, and nobody want to hear about saying your conviction, your religious convictions. They want to see you cuss and throw money out and dance and everything that
Yeah.
than some of these other fighters. That's why people
Well,
like. Go ahead.
Makai, 1 minute, Marky.
uh,
Makai. I know Steven's a fan of Ward, but Makai's not a fan of Ward. So I want to get the opposite. I want to get the opposite opinion. Makai, why weren't you a fan of Ward?
Well, first of all, because he's a cheater. I've seen him with my own eyes.
Oh my God!
Elbow someone like twice. He always talks about God. Like he goes to church. Like, well, his manager was Jay Prince, who's a notorious gangster. So why the hell are you talking about God?
Jay Prince wasn't no gangster.
Yes, he is. He's literally a notorious gangster. Yes, he is.
No, they tried to pin a case on him for 10 years. That's what happened.
The guy's a cheater.
I don't know. I don't know.
He's literally a cheater.
Jay Prince is a gangster, though, boy.
Like people used to say, "Oh, no, he was
I know he was fucking with Biggie and Tupac, but I heard about how they were trying. Well, anyway, that's not boxing talk. But
yeah, let's talk boxing, man.
Guys, do you know what? Guys, do you know when Andre Ward was flirting with the possibility of fighting Joshua? I think Andre Ward would have had a chance to beat Joshua.
Oh man, no, please.
No,
that's ridiculous. Come on.
No,
I mean, you always doing that.
He might have went 12, but he's not beating Joshua.
Yeah, he's got IQ to beat him, man. If he jumped up,
come on. Joshua's jab would probably concuss Andre Ward. Like the guy's 250 pounds, almost 6'6". Imagine Joshua and Andre Ward's chin.
but if a fat boy could beat Joshua and Andy Ruiz,
sure. That fat boy would destroy Ward.
Oh, come on,
that fat boy was almost 300 pounds.
Yeah, but Ward could probably beat him.
No, Ahmed, come on, man. There's no way Ward is beating Ruiz. You think?
And also with Ward, he retired so early. He avoided the competition at like heavyweight. He avoided Bivol, Beterbiev, guys like it was his mandatories and all that. I mean, I know you guys don't. I know you award fans don't like the truth, but it's true. This is true.
So
what about Andre Ward versus Makabu?
Hey?
He would style on Makabu.
Yeah, he would go to town on Makabu.
I don't even care about that.
He's not a top tier guy. Why are we talking about Makabu?
I know, what the hell?
I don't know.
I mean, you trolling again, like you do with Bud, like you do us with Bud. You trolling.
Joshua,
stop trolling out there.
No, man. Andre Ward was a good fighter. He could have done a little bit extra, and I think, he would have secured his legacy even further. But
you think he would have beaten?
Pardon?
You think he would have beaten Joshua? Really?
No. I'm saying he would have had a chance, but like 60-40 in Joshua's favor.
No, 60-40. That's too much, man. I would put 5% chance.
Do you think who said he beats Joshua, or like has a good fight with him? Do you think, or how do you think Andre Ward and Alexander Usyk goes?
Oh, easy, Usyk.
I think Usyk's a bit big for him, innit, and a bit skilled.
Yeah.
But you think Joshua's big?
But do you think it's a good fight, or do you think Usyk just destroys him?
No, Usyk doesn't destroy him. He'll be competitive, innit?
No, I think he absolutely destroys him. He absolutely destroys Ward.
Usyk, I don't think. So, Stephen, how you said Ward, people aren't putting respect on Ward's name. When are people respect on Usyk's name? When is he gonna get respect?
Man, I don't know, man. That's the $1 million question, man. Because if anybody deserves much respect and if anybody's to be saluted, it's Usyk. Usyk is going in these clowns' backyards and taking
front line.
Yeah, man. Usyk is a gangster. He's a certified killer.
Yeah,
Usyk's number 2 on my pound for pound. I've got him very, very high.
Yeah, I got him high too.
You would never put anyone ahead of Crawford, though, man. That's the problem.
If Usyk beat Tyson Fury, I'll have him above Crawford.
Yeah, right.
The only thing I'm confused
but then
about
if Crawford beats Spence, then you'd say that Crawford.
No, Crawford would have to beat Jermell Charlo as well then.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, they're both on the same.
I don't think Usyk would beat Tyson.
I think he does.
He ain't got nothing coming.
Great chance.
I think he's got ability to. I think he could, Steve.
And I think Joshua is gonna look better. They're doing the rematch. I think Joshua is gonna look better. Honestly, I think he just didn't have like his foot on the gas enough against Usyk.
Steven knows this.
We'll see.
Steven knows I picked Usyk the first time to beat Joshua, and I'm picking him again.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Joshua cannot beat Usyk in a million years.
Oh, I don't
Hey,
know about that one.
but people act like
Eddie Hearn knows Joshua can't beat Usyk. He's just cashing out on him. Last fight for Joshua before he retires.
Man, they need to make that Joshua versus Wilder fight. I need to see that fight before they both retire.
I think Wilder knocks him out cold, man.
Wilder wins
I
that
do
fight.
too.
Wilder knocks
But
him out.
I think Joshua,
No.
because remember when Joshua lost to Ruiz, and then
Yeah.
they did the rematch.
Mm.
Like I think once you beat Joshua, then Joshua gets serious on you in the second one.
Thing though, D-Money, Usyk and Ruiz are two different animals, man.
Yeah.
Ruiz don't
Hey
live.
y'all, hey, I'm about to get up out of here, man. Hey, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I love talking to y'all, man. I hope Imran come on here tomorrow, man, and that way we can all talk again. But I'm about to get up out of here.
Jermell Castano is this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's winning that fight?
I think Charlo. I think he's more capable of making the most adjustments. I mean, with Castano, really, he's a small guy. He's got small reach. He has to be the aggressor, put Charlo on the ropes. I mean, his game plan isn't going to be as much different as Charlo's is going to be. I feel he can make more adjustments, and I think he might get him out of there, or he might score a few knockdowns and win by points.
Yeah, I think Charlo gonna edge him out, man. I think we seen the best we seen from Castano. I think Jermell he got more wrinkles in his game. He got more vengeance in his heart. I think he gonna win.
I got Jermell, but I think that might be, unless Spence and Crawford happen this year, I think that might be the best the most evenly matched fight of the year.
Yeah, because Castano ain't coming to lay down. He ain't coming to play no jailhouse games.
Yeah,
he coming to try to take his head off.
But Spence
they both call it a knockout. I think it's gonna be a classic.
Spence and Crawford might be a wash. How do we? It could be one-sided. Maybe Spence just back Crawford, or maybe Crawford.
Oh man, no.
You don't think so?
No. I think that's
Crawford is too much of a dog. He ain't even if he gets knocked out, he's not going quiet.
Nah, I don't think so either.
Also, guys, with Spence, I don't want any more car crash stories from him now. I mean, if Crawford beats him, I don't want any excuses.
No, he ain't.
It's not gonna happen. You ain't got to worry about that, man.
Yeah, Spence ain't never gave no excuses for
you ain't got to worry about that.
I love this Crawford Spence debate because you got Steven, who's a Spence fan, and you got Ahmed, who's a hardcore Crawford fan, and them two just love going at each other. Like literally, it's just for D-Money. Who do you think's gonna win that?
Yeah, I got Crawford and Spence.
Yeah,
man, I've been going back and forth, man. At first, after the Spence, at first I was saying Crawford, but then after Spence beat Ugas and he looking like a Super Saiyan, I'm like, man, okay, maybe Spence might be too much, man. I don't know. So I really haven't made a decision. I don't even want to say nothing because then I don't want to change my mind. Well, it hasn't even been announced. You said what?
Steven is like Spence is 100% gonna win, and Ahmed is like Crawford is 100% gonna win. How can you guys be confident that they're gonna confident when nobody else knows what's gonna happen, man? We're just not confident.
I know what's gonna happen.
Hey?
I know it, but the thing is, Ahmed don't know what's gonna happen. See, Ahmed ain't sure, but I'm sure.
I know what's gonna happen, man.
What's gonna happen?
What Crawford's been doing to everybody else. It's the same thing's gonna happen to Errol Spence. Errol Spence hasn't shown me, in his fights that he could dominate Crawford. I mean, if he had knocked out Mikey Garcia, and if he had knocked out Sean Porter, then I might have called it 50-55, but he had life and death against Sean Porter. He couldn't stop a 130 or 135 pounder coming up. So what's he gonna do to Crawford?
He gonna break his rib. He gonna break his rib in his face. He gonna break his face. That's what he gonna do.
And Crawford might break his neck.
Crawford ain't gonna break his neck, man. How that gonna happen?
Let
Now,
him land on his chin. You
now
gonna
we just
see.
talking.
Oh,
I mean,
Hey, but listen,
But you know
that fight.
I mean, you say that. What excuse have you got for the Mikey Garcia and not him getting out of there? The excuse is that the Spence
I mean,
fans
Mikey
are
just
I've
that.
been
ran.
saying this.
What you mean? What do you want him to do? Mikey was just in there to survive.
Yeah,
Spence was.
I've been saying that.
No, even if a small guy is there to survive, you get him out of there. Your lost excuse was that Spence showed people how to box. You don't show people how to box that are coming up in weight. You show people how to box that are in your weight class. And that was a very silly excuse from Spence fans about not stopping Mikey
What you
Garcia.
gonna what? I mean, listen,
I
I'm gonna
think
go
was talking
easy on you.
about in the
I'm listen. I'm gonna go easy on you because you're gonna need some consoling when Bud is in the hospital. So I'll be there for you. I'll be there
No
for you
problem.
when he breaks
Let's
his
Hey,
see.
face.
but
Yeah,
listen, that fight is gonna end all the debate about pound for pound, about who's the best of the era. That it's gonna end all the debate.
Yeah, I think whoever wins that probably is one or
Okay.
two
We
pound for
were
pound. Especially if
Stephen. We both were on the same page about
Not
Stephen. We were both on the same page about Bivol beating Canelo, so I've got to give you that.
yeah, you are. And you know what? I mean, you my man. You my man. So you know everything I say to you is it's all fun and game. But at the end of the day, you my man. I respect you.
You know what it
That's
is?
the
It's
same
like
to you, man.
you're fans of like two rivals. You know what I mean? So it's good, man. It's good. Good.
Imran,
Like,
I had a question for you. Where do
yeah.
you put Bivol after? Because Bivol has showed me something. I before we get off, I want to know y'all's opinions on that. And Imran, where you put Bivol on the pound for pound list? Because everybody was saying before the fight, Bivol has to be on his bike. Like he better not let Canelo, get to the inside. Like if that happens, it's gonna be a quick night. Blah blah blah. And Bivol, like he was on his bike way more in the Joe Smith fight than he was with Canelo. To me, like he was inviting, and then towards the end of the fight, right? He was like inviting Canelo to come inside and was beating Canelo on the inside. So like to me, that showed a lot of range. Like he can do the bike thing, he could go inside, he could jab, he got. It was impressive, man. Like, what do you think of that?
Yeah, top 10 pound for pound.
Top 10?
Yeah, I'm not top 5 because it's like.
Nah, I got him.
Oh, you know what I mean? I feel like even Teofimo, man, they put him so high up after beating Lomachenko. Like that's one fight, man. You got to prove it over a period of time. Surely pound for pound, not just one fight, and you got to prove it over a period of time. But I guess Steven said, "What's pound for pound? What does it mean?" Like. It's just people's opinions on where they rank, and it is what it is. I think.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just that he beat Canelo; he completely washed him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And he was a 5-1 underdog.
But still, does that put you top 5 pound for pound?
I got it. I got him just outside. I got him at number 6.
If he beat Beterbiev, or the Joe Smith winner, then he'd have a case of a top 5, top 6.
Oh, easy. I think he has to be high in there because you beat Canelo, who's considered the best 168, and then you beat Beterbiev, who's considered the best 175. And those are two different, well, not two different styles, but I mean, those are two different fighters, like that are really good, like great. And Canelo, you know how high you was rating Canelo, Imran, and like how a lot of people do. So it's like, man, what else can he do to prove himself? Like this is nuts.
Man, he beat a legend comfortably, like in his prime.
Yeah.
So that's a big
I
win.
feel like he got to be up like top. He got to be top, like especially if he beats Beterbiev, he got to be like in the top 3 conversation to me, top 4.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree. If Crawford beats Spence, he goes to number 1. He solidifies that.
Yeah, he the
but
king.
Crawford, I still think Spence needs to do a bit more because he's at one weight class.
Yeah, if you.
I disagree.
Why?
Because Marvin Hagler was only at one weight for his entire career, and I think just about everybody agreed that Hagler was the best fighter in the world.
Yeah, but Hagler was fighting. Look at who Hagler was fighting as well, man. You can't compare, bro. He was fighting Sugar Ray, Roberto Duran.
know, he's fighting John Mugabe. He was fighting monsters, man. You can't compare.
But if Spence becomes undisputed in at welterweight, which is one of the historical glamour divisions in boxing, and he beats a monster like Crawford, I don't see how you could deny him that. In my opinion,
I don't think I still don't think his achievements would be better than Usyk's. I still don't think his achievements will be. I still don't think he would have done more than Canelo. I still don't think he would have done. I still don't think he would have done more than even Crawford. Like Crawford's come up 3 weight classes. If he beats Crawford, then I'd put him up like probably 3, 2. But
nah, man.
For me, you have to move up weight classes. You have to unless he stays there and dominates for 10 years. He hasn't.
He cleaned out the division, Imran.
Yeah, but Canelo cleaned out 168.
Did he clean it out? I think there was a little.
Did he clean it out?
Okay,
little thing called David Benavidez, little paper in the corner.
He ain't fought Thurman. You know what I mean? Thurman, he ain't fought Thurman.
But that wasn't his fault. Thurman didn't want that fight.
Yeah, and Thurman lost to Pacquiao.
He wants it now.
Well, he lost to Pacquiao.
Wait. Do you guys give Crawford credit for being undisputed at 140?
Yeah, I give him credit.
Yeah.
People try to discredit it by saying, who's in Dongo, who's post-style.
Well, you don't give Canelo credit for being undisputed at 168.
Because you didn't beat David Benavidez.
Yeah, David Benavidez never lost his belt.
At 168, and that never lost. He lost it on the scale. You got to beat him.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
No, but
I give him credit.
Did you not? Let me talk. Did you not see the guys Crawford beat? I mean, you've seen where they are now. I mean,
Victor Postel was a solid win for Crawford.
Postel is the only solid win there. All the others, I mean, right in Dongo, after Crawford beat him, it took him like 3. It took him like 3 rounds. Yeah, and then Prograis fought in Dongo, took about 2 rounds. Like that was the most weakest division. But you guys give him credit for that, but you don't give Canelo. What? That's ridiculous. Come on, that's straight bias there. No, I'm sorry.
I'm sure Gamboa was the favorite against Crawford as well going into it, wasn't he?
What Gamboa?
No, I don't think so.
What Gamboa, the little midget, compared to him? Yeah, I'm not so.
Well, nobody was saying it at that time.
Crawford was supposed to beat him.
Yes.
I mean, you can't tell me that Gamboa was going to win that fight. Honestly,
Gamboa's a very good fighter back then. He was a good fighter, but the point I'm trying to make is like Crawford. Look, Crawford's a great fighter. Crawford's a great fighter. He's a very good, talented fighter. But Makai's right. You know, his undisputed run at 140 was a bit shady, man. It's not. There ain't no great fighters there.
It's worse than Canelo's.
Yes, Canelo beat better men. Really, if you think about it.
He's knocked out everyone at 147. You got to give him credit, man.
Yeah, but come on, those guys were past their best.
No, but even if they pass their best, you've got to look at the manner of the victories, isn't it?
I'm not trying to say anything bad about Crawford's skills anyway. I think he beat Spence. It's just his undisputed run is clearly right now getting overrated. Clearly,
I think undisputed is undisputed. You know, I think you can't control who you fight for undisputed. Like Canelo. Canelo beat for undisputed, like those aren't like these, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my goodness,
you keep on saying, Canelo didn't fight the best guy. I don't think Crawford really fought the best guys because you had Regis Prograis, he was calling him out for that fight, and then obviously he moved up. There was Prograis, there was Jose Ramirez coming up, there was even Josh Taylor. There was all those set of guys coming up, and then he moved up. So I can just say he didn't fight the best guys.
Yeah, but they didn't lose. Like they weren't worth the champion and then lost their belt on the scale, and now you know what I'm saying.
I can understand that. Yeah, but I mean, they were ranked guys and all. It's just I sense a bit of straight, but I sense a bit of bias there. It might not be, but you can't just give a guy like Crawford credit for it, but not Canelo doing it because they both became undisputed. They should both get credit for that. I'm just saying, but yeah.
I think Canelo's got a better overall resume. He's fought better guys throughout it. But Spence, on the other hand, Spence got a good resume. I like Spence. I think Spence has got a great resume. When you think about it, he fought Mikey Gossi. Yeah, he was a small guy, but he's fought Danny. He's fought Porter. He's fought Kell Brook. He's fought who else? Who else has he fought? Lamont Peterson. I know Lamont was kind of washed at the time, but still Algieri.
Spencer's got a good. He's got a good resume. He's got a thick resume right there. You know what I mean? And if he beats Crawford, that's a good. Yeah, Marky might be right. Maybe we are putting him number 1 pound for pound and number 2. You know what I mean? Because Spencer's got a thick resume, boys. He has got a thick resume.
Yeah.
He's got a good resume, whereas Crawford's resume is a bit shaky. We're just basing it on skills, you know, and his talent and his moving up and becoming undisputed. You know what I mean? So,
But then,
do you
if
think
Crawford,
Crawford's 1 pound
if,
for pound, right?
if Crawford beats Spence, he'll become the first person to be undisputed in 2 weight categories.
Yeah.
And are you going to say both? Are you going to say both his runs were rubbish?
The 147 run, that's a great run. Clearly, I mean, if he obviously we're Horn, yeah, okay, whatever. But if he beats Spence, that's a great run. No one's going to fault him for that. And I mean, especially because Crawford said after he beats Spence, he wants to fight the winner of Charlo Castano. If he became undisputed at 140, undisputed at 147, then moved up, become undisputed at 154, he's no doubt the greatest fighter of the generation as of now, really. If he did do that,
I think if Usyk beats Tyson Fury, I think he puts a wrap on it.
Yeah, man. If Usyk beats Tyson Fury, then yeah, I agree actually. Because with Usyk, he went to their backyards, and the guys he beat, they're actually good opponents. And then if he went up and moved Joshua and Fury, yeah, I agree, man. If he beats Fury, then he probably tops Crawford.
Not even tops Crawford. I say he tops the best fighter of this generation. I don't think you can match him.
Wow.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If Bivol rematch is Canelo at 168 and beats Canelo, then moves back up to 175 and beats Beterbiev or Smith, more than likely Beterbiev. Let's say it's Beterbiev. If he beats Beterbiev and comes and beats out Crawford, well, that probably won't happen. But if he becomes a second or whatever, if he goes undisputed in 2 weight classes, where are y'all putting him? If Usyk does it and Crawford does it,
better than becoming undisputed at cruiserweight and then undisputed at heavyweight. Remember the size difference between Usyk and Tyson Fury, D-Money. We're talking about 7 inches in height, with about 60 pounds in weight.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry, man. I just don't feel. I feel like if Usyk, that's a wrap.
And Imran, the thing, the Usyk Fury one, that's that can actually happen. I mean, yeah, Fury's as he said, he retired, but we all know he's not actually retired. I mean, he's definitely not retired. But
is that better than Crawford? Is that better than Crawford though? Would Usyk be 1 and then Bivol be 2 and Crawford 3, or would you have it switched if Crawford beat
Crawford would have to do to top Usyk if Usyk beats Tyson Fury. Crawford would have to beat Spence, and then he'd have to go and beat Jermell Charlo.
Would he have to beat Jermell to be above Bivol?
No.
If Bivol did it?
Well, Bivol did what? What, become undisputed?
If he became undisputed at 168 and 175.
I mean, with right. Let's just say
I don't think so. No, because he beat. I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one, but I think if Crawford beats Spence and Jermell Charlo, he might put a wrap on it. You know what I mean? He might put a wrap on it. Best fighter.
For me, I think if obviously Usyk beat Tyson Fury, became undisputed there, undisputed at Cruiserweight, going to all their backyards as well, and he's going to be doing the same thing at heavyweight. He is number 1. Then if Crawford beats Spence and Charlo, he's number 2. And then if Bivol moved down, beat Canelo, and then became undisputed by being Beterbiev, he'd be number 3, because with the one that's undisputed at 168, he'll be rematching Canelo, the guy who he already just destroyed, really. And then he'll be moving up to fight Beterbiev. I mean, that's still very impressive, but I don't think that tops Crawford being undisputed at 140, 147, and 154. Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with y'all, but I just think maybe I feel like Bivol might not be getting enough credit because of how high Canelo is rated. If Canelo's number 2 pound for pound, and I beat the number 2 pound per pound guy twice, then go and beat a monster like Artur Beterbiev, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, who can do that? Like, it's gonna take a special fighter to be able to accomplish that. Like, the best person
Hey,
like in boxing. You
Yeah,
know?
true.
hey, we talking a lot about the heavyweight classes, but what y'all think about the lightweight division? You know, Ryan Garcia and Pitbull just got mandated. You know, I think Ryan Garcia would knock him out. What y'all think?
One sec. But
Love
Marcus,
that fight.
I'm gonna talk about that fight. If Fury beats Usyk, where do you rank him?
Top 10. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
You know,
I top five, easy to me.
Yeah,
top five.
five.
Yeah, I
five.
put him top 5, man. I mean, you defended your throne, man. I mean, that's you beat, and Usyk is number 2 pound for pound right now. So you
Yeah.
beat him.
What?
For me,
How you not top 5?
Oh, you mean top 5 pound for pound? I thought you meant like top 5 all time heavyweights.
No. Top 5 pound for pound. If he
Oh,
beats Usyk,
okay.
with that, if he let's just say he did beat Usyk, yeah. For me, especially being in the UK, it would feel weird, yeah, if Fury actually fully retired after being Usyk without fighting AJ. Although people probably think Fury beats AJ, I'd still need to see that fight. Really, wouldn't you agree, man? I mean, especially when we're both from the UK as well.
Yeah.
That fight just, I feel that just has to happen.
I don't know how people say that he's better than Ali and stuff. It's absolutely ludicrous, and I think it's Muhammad Ali had 25 world title fights. Tyson Fury's had 5. Come on, put it in.
Well, it's the head-to-head matchup, because Fury is 6'9". He's got a longer reach than Ali, which what I'm saying, he would give Ali a lot of problems because Ali would like to pull straight back from punches. So I guess head-to-head, he would give Ali a lot of problems. He might even beat Ali.
Fury would not be able to be a prime Mike Tyson or prime Lennox Lewis.
Oh no! What? No, he beat Mike Tyson. I don't know about Lennox Lewis.
No, he wouldn't be the '80s version. No.
No, I think Mike Tyson was a great fighter, but I think he gets overhyped a little bit. That's my opinion.
I don't rate Mike Tyson in the '90s. I only rate him for the '80s. If you're going on his '90s and that, then fair enough. But in his prime, from 1985 to '89, Tyson when he's undisputed, he wouldn't be that Tyson.
Makai, who wins, Mike Tyson or Tyson Fury?
Oh god. Bro, we're talking about prime Mike Tyson here. But probably Mike Tyson, just because Fury, he's right.
Nah.
People were like Fury was like some like really good rangy fighter like Lennox Lewis. He really wasn't. I don't think he was. I think Mike could win that. He wasn't like a Lennox Lewis who could actually stop you with his jab. And Lennox Lewis, he had power. I mean, like way better power than Fury.
Here's the thing: would Tyson Fury be a Riddick Bowe? I don't.
No, he wouldn't beat Bo. Bo was too skilled on the inside. Bo was a genius on the inside, and his jab. It was like Larry Holmes. It was almost like Larry Holmes' jab. So he could fight. He could fight on the outside.
This is what I'm trying to say, man. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, we putting Fury on this kind of pedestal. He wouldn't even beat Riddick Bowe, in my opinion. Forget Lennox Lewis. I think he.
Well,
Riddick
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Riddick might be in Lennox. Who knows? Riddick was a great fighter, man.
Yeah.
But
like, I still want to see Fury versus AJ because even though everybody says Fury would beat AJ, that's the same thing everybody said about Tyson and Holyfield. And what happened? Holyfield knocked out Tyson. I mean, everybody said that Holyfield, it would be a miracle if he went 4 rounds.
That wasn't Tyson at his best, though. Let's be brutally honest. Tyson,
oh, come on.
You think Tyson was at his best when he fought Holyfield? This guy was.
No, but be fair, because you know what I'm saying. Everybody said it would be a miracle if Holyfield went 3 rounds. I think that's unfair to Holyfield.
Everybody said Canelo would beat Bivol as well. Sometimes a guy is living on his reputation, bro. Like, it's not necessarily like Jeff Lacey was supposed to beat Calzaghe. Like, sometimes some people are living on their reputation. It's not necessarily like, Mike Tyson, the name Mike Tyson, Canelo, the name Canelo. But that doesn't mean that they come up against a guy that was a good fighter. He's just underestimated, or he's not given credit, or he's not known of. Holyfield was known at that point, but Mike Tyson just had a mystique. He had an aura around him. But
Mike Tyson wasn't the same Mike, that fought Holyfield. Now would Holyfield have beaten the 80s Mike Tyson? Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah,
Who
I
knows?
think so because that Holyfield, the type of conditioning and the type of pace he went at, because you see Tyson after after he goes up after about like the 6th round, you see Tyson start to slow down, and that's where Holyfield really has success against fighters is when they start to slow down. He keeps going, and he doesn't stop. You know that I could be wrong, but I love Evander Holyfield. That's my favorite fighter ever.
Would you say if Usyk becomes undisputed, right? Heavyweight beats Tyson Fury, would you say he becomes greater than Evander?
Maybe, but like Evander was. I mean, he was. I mean, he won the heavyweight championship I think 4 times, right?
Mm.
He beat Bo. He beat Michael Moore, and he beat Tyson, and he beat John Ruiz.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know because Tyson Fury is 6'9" and weighs how much? 270.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would be close.
Mm.
But I'm always gonna favor Holyfield. That's just my thing, man. I